Welcome and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another dose of the LG Ultragear presents the Esports Club Challenger Series, powered by ZOTAC. We've had a lot of outstanding days throughout this Challenger Series because we've gotten to see absolutely everything aggressive. And today we have two teams that might not be at the top of this region but are surely at equal pegging to some extent, right? Today we have M42 versus True Rippers, and that's going to be an absolutely amazing matchup. How are you feeling about this aggressive?
Yeah, as we head on down over towards today's matchups, I honestly do believe that these two teams, even though, as you just stated, they're not at the top, but they're close to each other. But then again, True Rippers, they will edge out when it comes down to that margin because of what they have already accomplished. But M42, they had a pretty lackluster start to their 2022 year with the roster not being able to perform as you would have hoped for. But then
Yeah.
again, now it's pretty much a brand new roster with their new recent additions of Psy and Blackhawk coming into the play, the way they do calls, the way that they're able to play around one another. It's really incredible to watch on that regard. But then again, we really need to wait and see exactly how they will all play it out because currently the roster is going through a couple of different iterations and they're trying to mesh well together. And we
Yeah.
have seen the synergy that all the players can accomplish when they are on the same page. But then again, let's head on over towards the bracket, see exactly what have been rising up to the challenge. We did have our match yesterday, and Velocity, they took a very convincing lead for themselves.
They did. One thing though I'm a little worried about is the fact that True Rippers kind of have that reputation where when things get a little too easy, they start to seem a little more compliant, right? You just gotta hope that that aspect doesn't kick in because, like you said, M42 they've been going through a couple of recent changes, so it's not gonna be a very chemistry infused team from the get go, right? We have players who are trying to rebrand themselves or trying to get a new face for themselves in 2022. You know, players like Sai that he just mentioned who has swapped roles around different teams, around different positions. So it's going to be interesting to see what he has to deliver once he gets at the server. And those of you at home, we're going to quickly also go through both the teams individually. So if you are unfamiliar with any of these teams, which should be unlikely, or any of these players, don't got you. We at TC got you covered.
Head on down over towards the true representative and see exactly what they're going to be cooking up for us in this roster. Yeah, they're not fresh new faces, but a lot of young talent, I would say, on their side. Crosshair, Relic, Paradox being the only not young one when you consider his track record in professional play, considering fighting games as well. Masters, One Tap God, and Bones. Every single one of these players, they know exactly what they need to do on the server to just completely frag out of it. They don't
Yeah,
miss shots. They do not miss a beat when it comes down to them understanding the flow of the game. But then again, you just stated the obvious pretty much. This team has a problem of trying to close out maps when they really need to.
and more importantly, when they're the clear favorites, right? That's the
Yeah.
important part here. If I'm not mistaken, even through their qualifier phase, I still remember this matchup, but I forget against whom. It was an underdog. They lost map one, they won map two incredibly close, and they just completely dusted them in map three. So it looked like they had control, but only towards the end, right? And that's something that's not really comforting, especially when you're a team that's looking to completely break out from what your expectation was prior, which is being a dark horse, which is being a very strong team to play against, but something that you can maybe consider taking a dub if you are a consistent face in amongst the top tier of South Asia. So that's the trend that they need to break. They need to break from being the test to the top tier of South Asia to being the top tier of South Asia. And let's quickly glance through some players who, in couple of nights ago, were some of the top players in South Asia. I'm talking about years prior. So you're seeing years of FPS on your screen. Not necessarily that it translates into a W on the server, but it's certainly a big W on your side, considering experience is half the game. So you have Venom, who I don't think anybody in India should not know. Blackhawk, Hyper, Baby Sai. He's been a coach for the past few months as well. He's been a player on the bench. He's been a very good player himself. So it's nice to see him swap around these roles again, and it's good to see him back on the server. I'm excited to see what our man has to offer alongside Rix, a very very old school opper in our country. So M42 not had the best start, especially last year. I'm hoping that this year they have something nice and different to show us.
Yeah, M42. They've been a little bit all over the place, I would say, considering how this roster is
Maybe.
trying to accomplish what their vision is of the game. But now I really do believe that the roster has a lot more structure. Previously, I always used to say this whenever I critique M42, saying that their roster lacked any form of strat plan, and if the strat plan goes wrong, then they just completely fall apart. But now, with the addition of side, the roster feels as though they know what they need to do when it comes down to the mid round calls. Now,
Oops.
you can always say that the game of Valorant is about those mid rounds, and if you don't have a proper IGL who can take control of the entire game and flow the entire team in that direction, that early game strategy doesn't really matter. It's all about that. But let's see exactly who's going to be the spearhead for all of these battles as we head on down over towards the head-to-head screen to see exactly who's on the spotlight. At One Tap God versus Hyper, the Jet versus Jet battle seems to be a common theme here in the Challenger series. But hey, One Tap God, we know what he can do, and his stats, they're
Sure.
proving it.
Yeah, and Hyper on the other end should have, I think, a little more work on his back today. When you are going to be that jet, it's very instrumental that you not only find that first frag, but you're able to continuously translate on the back of your team's setup. And setup, that's going to be an interesting thing, right? That's what I'm interested to see what M42 have in the bag. I feel like, at least in context of this matchup, it needs to be a curveball that needs to be deployed from the side of M42. The ball's in their court. They need to be the ones that make the move. I almost feel like you when I say this, but do you kind of think that we might get to see a neon today, considering that it is M42 and they might look to do something different,
Yes,
hopefully?
I wanted. Hey, if I do recall, Paradox is playing today, so Paradox on
Yeah,
Neon. Come on,
I'm
give it to
hoping
me.
for it, man. Yeah, it's something that I feel like he had a. It was Paradox who was the first person to initially bring out the neon in the Challenger series, right? On Bind, if I'm not
No,
mistaken.
that was Scargo. That was
That
Scargo.
was Kargod. Yeah, completely different jet player. But that aside, now with Paradox in this roster, like you said, it's gonna be True Rippers playing with their comfort, right? Do you think that this kind of enables True Rippers to maybe throw something out of the box? Because again, let's state the obvious. True Rippers, at least in our minds, are the favorite, right? Being in the
Yep.
position of a favorite, you have the ability to maybe take that trump card. Is that something that you personally would go for if you were in the boots of True Rippers?
Not exactly because overconfidence can kill cats. So
Maybe, yeah. I
like
think with what you
curiosity
mentioned,
and overconfidence both in those cases really does go hand in hand. And in these cases, as we head on down over towards the map video screen, we are curious about what exactly is picked up by the teams as well. Ascend being the first
no
initial
problem.
matchup, I think that this is a problem.
Yeah.
Um, this map video screen doesn't really favor the side of M42 in my eyes, considering True Rippers is a team that completely relies on their raw mechanical skill. If True
Hmm.
Rippers start hitting shots, Ascent and Haven will be a bloodbath. Haven, not so much, but Ascent, my god.
It's also a map where you can't afford to put as much utility dump on the defense as you want to, right? Sure, you have maybe the Sova set up towards B mains, occasionally Sova towards maybe A main if he's feeling adventurous, but in terms of utility dump, like you said, it's gonna be very hard. You need to win your duels on a map like Ascent. Yeah. Do you, even if it does go all the way to a split, I still feel like, like you said, True Rippers, they have that advantage on the back of their mind. It's already looking difficult, my friend. Not a reason to call out, though. Not a reason to tap out. The play from M42 needs to be something very different, in my opinion. They Do you think that in a situation like this, you maybe relinquish the jet, play a single duelist, have something like a raise? Raise really isn't that bad on Ascent. Depends on how the setup play could be around her. At least that way they'll have consistent utility to inflict the damage, by time, and then add the pressure. Do you think that they need to go for more of a lethal composition or a composition with more utility that can enable them to buy time and make plays?
I do believe that just having that one KO should pretty much play out those parts. Single duelist is pretty much going to be the meta, and I believe that Ascent is one of the few maps you shouldn't really stray away from the meta as much. Because, yeah, if you have that extra little bit of firepower in the forms of a raise, maybe you can get away with something more. But then again, why would you even want to play the raise in those cases? You can just have a KO, you have a jet, then flash and dash is a thing. You can play
Yeah.
aggressive, you can play defensive. You have so much to do when it comes down to playing your characters in that sense. But then again, Ascent is one of the few maps I would say all the controllers are very much viable. I would even, sorry, say that Astra's a viable pickup here.
Wow. Okay. Bold
Okay,
word.
we have seen this from other Korean teams and Japanese teams that they're still picking up the Astra on the map of Ascent. The astral divide and the way that you use your gravity walls will be pinnacle to any form of a defensive success. You can still get a lot of value out of her. It's difficult, but doesn't really mean it's impossible. She can
Exactly.
still put in a lot of work in comparison to the other controllers if you're able to utilize that utility properly. But I don't think any of these teams are ready to play the Astra at that level.
You need to be very heads up, right? Especially with how Astra has
It's
changed.
reactive
It's
now.
it's very reliant on you getting those uh, key pieces of utility out at the nick of time. You can't do them early, you can't do them late, because the cooldowns are so much that they're gonna be more or less irrelevant at the second time of asking. It also does help in maybe stopping the bomb rush True Rippers might be going for. So yeah, Astra viable to a decent extent. Also, this is a map which is heavily reliant on having the double initiator setup, right? Sova is a staple, and usually you see people either go for that sky. Occasionally, like you said, they go for the KO, and like you said, the KO pop flashes are, at least in my opinion, some of the best pop flashes in the game because it's almost impossible for you to dodge them. You might have a heads up play, you might know that it's coming your way, but once you have a proper lineup for your flash, that flash becomes almost god tier.
So much you can do with that one agent. You can completely shut down any form of a setup play on the center as well. Now, OG, I really want to ask you this. What do you prefer more as we head on over towards agent selection screen? The Killjoy or the Chamber? Now, I'm a Chamber cops. If you don't pick a Chamber, you're dead. But for Ascent, I can understand the one for Killjoy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure both of these teams, they even understand that as well. The Killjoy is just something that you always need to pick up. And that's falling into that category of which would you like more, the Killjoy versus the Chamber, and why would you want to pick either?
Mm. Dependent on your game style, dependent on the type of role that you're trying to fulfill. Of course, as Killjoy, you have the ability to defend sites in a little more rook-esque manner. You can afford to solo, you can afford to play off your utility, and you can just play off whatever information you get, trying to go for those kills. So it's understandable, the chamber on the other end helps you deal with a little more in terms of versatility and engagements you take, especially towards the rounds where you don't have that much investment. You can look towards your chamber for finding those openings and maybe getting that one gun that might alter the course of the round. So it's a very, very big compromise on either end, and it's heavily reliant on what your game plan is heading into this matchup. True Rippers going for a composition where you have the Breach and the Silva. On the other end, we have the KO. So it's gonna be Venom. who's going to be on the KO, and all eyes are going to be towards him. He needs to disrupt a lot of this utility game coming from True Rippers if he's to even out the playing field for these aim deals, which is something that I think they will desperately need. Because, like you said, True Rippers, granted, they might not have the experience that some of the members in M42 have due to their years in the scene. They certainly do have the firepower and the heads-up play for pulling off berserk stuff.
God, Hyper, this is such a dangerous play. One tap God, he knew he was royally screwed. He's just gonna immediately dip out of from the side of logs. But now we do see the calls coming in and a very strong A hit from the side of M42. Master, he needs to hold. He needs to be the one to survive. Will he be able to do it though? Not really, because in this situation, here comes the bodies, and it's gonna be Blackhawk piling up the first. Paradox takes a back seat, and the A side is gonna be under full control for M42.
Man advantage as well. One tap God does take a decent bit of damage, but also deals it in return. Those plant. It's almost secured now by M42 as they all are just reliant on each other, trading out these frags. Rix gets the opening on a one tap. Oh, Sai, the choke. With the peak close range, the classic landed, my friend. 50 HP and he makes it out. They only lose Venom in the process. M42 able to close out the pistol. They need to build as much as they can on this now. True Rippers, they should go for the textbook save and reinvest in the round coming with complete Vandals. Oof. Good start. I like the fact that, you know, M42 coming out the gate swinging. Let's see how long they can swing like this for, because it's looking nice. It's looking refreshing. Early play towards B. Oh, the shorty. On top goal, man.
God, that was such a good flash, but Hyper just survives it at the skin of his teeth. 19 HP, no heals, no nothing. But then again, M42, they can still hold and they can easily switch out this battlefield. Rix, though, this is such a crucial fight. If they still are able to find the skill, it will be good for them. Here comes a fight, but still Rix a lot more wiser than his years. Gets a free kill for himself. With that, it's just cleanup duty. One tap God.
HP.
Yeah. He's on a shorty. What are you gonna do about this?
Key piece here is that he invested in 2 cloudbursts this round, right? So my assumption is he has to head in with half shields. Slight problem in the next round considering he's still gonna go against Raptors, right? So putting him in way of problems, but as long as he keeps himself in a far range, you know, maybe take that fight towards mid, contest towards cubby, he should be cool. M42 very good on them to secure a round in this fashion, right? Completely flawless, watching each other's back. Not only is this going to aid their economy, but to some extent their confidence, you gotta hope. As M42 plan this early aggression towards B again, and one tap God, he wants to have a second chance at it. Cloudburst.
Okay, Bones. He's looking for a ready-made fight, but one tap God needs to immediately dip out of this corner. He's still gonna be able to wait it out. No one's gonna clear it. One tap God freebie for him, but then again, Hyper's gonna be coming in for the refrag. Bones! He's holding it out strong, and he's rattling them to the core, one by one. And Crosshair, he comes in for the backup as well. Blackhawk, last person remaining. Maybe good for one, but I don't think he's gonna be able to survive for the longest
Range!
Blackhawk! Okay, buddy. He's just gonna run it down forward and he doesn't even care. Gets a Vandal for himself, and this is a very much possible clutch. He has a smoke. He has one more teleport. He can play around so beautifully. Here comes the noise. And Blackhawk, he's playing, ringing around the Rosie. Is there a pocket full of posies? Nope. Not right now, because Paradox is gonna be the one who takes it all away. Omen Dip, I might say. And a 1 and 2.
Maybe. Also, the fact that he only had a Spectre to work with kind of limited his opportunities until he went for that Vandal, which then put him in a very disadvantageous position for that 1v2. Although good job by M42, right? On their bonus, they clean up so many weaponry. It's certainly a W for them. If they're able to now take the win in this round, it should certainly hamper the True Ripper economy with some pedigree. They've gone for this early B play before, but one very crucial part about winning out Ascent is taking control of mid and contesting it in different ways. So far, they've hit a shot on multiple occasions, but this is the one occasion where they might be interested to head towards Pizza. feels like they just got a slice of the defense out of the box, and they are enjoying the way it tastes.
Bones, though, gets caught out completely off guard. The poor man didn't even know what hit him in that scenario. With that sigh, he's trying to be a little bit cheeky on his own regard. Good shock darts, as for certain lineups are going to be strong from him. Rix, he's feeling out towards this B side, trying to see if he can find any form of an advantage or any form of an over-aggressive player. But M42, they're going in for the full side execution. And Venom, he's leading the charge with his buddy Hype.
The Vandal gives away Tracer, and Process Recon is downright perfect. Man advantage nullified, although the HP on M42 is slightly concerning. Not only is Silo, but also Venom, who ends up going down. Beautiful. From Crosshair. The dodge! Cringe works. Does Blackhawk dirty. And Sai needs timing. Paradox is very well aware, although this much noise created now is gonna draw his distraction, and it's all down at timing.
Oh, the timing.
Which he gets the better off. 2 seconds on the recon, and he has his buddy alongside the close lane to play aggro from Rix. Very crucial for him to win on that first gunfight. That was very reliant on both of them getting those kills in tandem. True Rippers flip the tables and win the round.
That was a little bit of a sad story, Paradox. Not really well versed in the Omen smokes because he's the one who plays down this smoke. But hey, it's completely fine and dandy, nothing to really worry about. The Rippers, they're going to be able to equalize and also send the members of M42 down over onto an eco. Now, for M42, they really need to change up their game plan. They've been going in for a little bit more of those slow play strategies, way too much. And now that you know that True Rippers, they're not playing overly aggressive, you need to change your tactics and start to take a lot more initiative. You wasted so much time trying to maybe find that first initial pickoff. You got Bones. You have the breach. Then why are you still playing slow? They have no way of slowing you down because the breach is the only form of utility that you really need to worry about other than the Killjoy. And you can completely shut her down with one ultimate. But then again, this is another problem entirely. They're gonna just die out one by one. They ran into a nano swarm as well. And Venom, it's done and dusted for him.
Is he really gonna push the smoke?
No charges. Shadows travel.
Okay, Paradox thinks the better of it. And this defense to a Z short starts to line up with this hit. One tap squad's gonna play off Bones' information and try maybe to aid his friend. And Paradox's angle is just cheeky.
Spike down mid.
Very cheeky. It's all on his side. He's been landing a couple of nutty shock darts. Has himself a duel right ahead of him. Ooh, disgusting. To start. And Sai's just his either frag or death away from the Hunter's Fury. How much more could he get out of the bag? Doesn't look like much. M42 still have the Hunter's Fury though, so the round coming is the round where we might see them go for a debate on the back of the Omen TP. This could be a nice setup for the post plan, but it needs to come in now. They need to contest this while they still can, because how many times have we seen True Rippers just run away with the lead? Sure, they give it back occasionally. That's different. We don't talk about that here right now. But the important fact is to not give that away.
They have to find what they really need to get here. Because now that they have the bias once again in their hands. Let's just say it out like this. You have the Hunter's Fury. You have Into the Shadows. Maybe go in for a B-side execute hit with the Omen ultimate, just getting a lot more value out of that regard. You gain some information maybe on towards the back of site, so you don't even need to clear it. You know for a fact that site is partially empty. So at that stage, you can either play much more aggressive onto market, maybe going for a fast market push and going for a pincer strategy from there, while the opponent team is still trying to clear out the Omen and are afraid of where he could be at. There's a lot of plays that you can go in for, but then again, you also need to worry about the defensive ultimates on the other end. They have a Hunter's Fury, and not just the Hunter's Fury. The Hunter's Fury is not the primary issue here. It's the fact that if it gets combined with the Rolling Thunder, your attack could get instantly shut down if the read is proper. And both of the initiators are playing towards a B-side OG. This could spell doom if they hit the B.
Although the other side, you do have one tap god with the operator, right? So regardless which side you hit, there's always that very, very big possibility of you losing that first frag. Although M42 doing something a little different here. This early aggression towards mid, if properly facilitated, could be what changes the course of the game. The flash from Venom as he looks to re-aggress, but this is hard as it is. Like you said, entering the B side's not going to be all that easy when there's a double initiator against you. Information's the name of the game, and that's what M42 are trying to play and trade out of. Paradox, that TP was questionable at the very best.
He wanted to go in for a little bit of a flex ninja play. They can't blame the man for that. Wanted to end it all off in style, but I like this. They used their ultimates properly, and they were able to completely take over the sidelines. They didn't even use one of the key ults that they were holding on to. Counter series is still very much present, and so is the Killjoy lockdown now. Because the last round, Rix did pick up an ultimate orb, and now the fact that he did die, he has the ultimate available. The B-side execution is even more simpler, but that last round was just textbook perfect plays. Take mid control, go in for a double pincer, completely bamboozle them with Into the Shadows, take it all out, but then okay, this guy's going in for another plan entirely. One tap god, he's worried, but then again, it's one tap god for a reason. He's on a tear, he's on a burn. He should be expecting Rix, but I think that Rix has the angle, he has the timing, and he's gonna be able to find that kill as well.
Importantly, Rix gets out of there unscathed. Still possibilities here for M42. They need to be opportunist enough to grab it. Rix all alone with a spike. And Sai alongside Hyper are now gonna commit their fight from top mid, which might
Right there.
maybe put Bones in a position of discomfort. The recon doesn't give this play away.
This position is good. Bones, just hold. Bones. I think he's gonna die.
Maybe.
No, he's good. It's better.
His teammates back. Okay, yeah. Thanks for the curse, aggressive. You just had to do it, right?
Hey, it's you just gotta give a little bit of hope towards the set 42, right?
You're giving the True Ripper's medicine to M42 now?
I did nothing wrong. It was all OG's fault.
I mean, that's in perception, my friend. That's the beautiful thing.
Sure.
The one thing that isn't in perception, though, is the fact that True Rippers still have the lead, and that's something M42 need to snatch out of their hands. Their ultimates have been very well synced at this point. Hunter's Fury, Lockdown, Blade Storms out from Hyper. They can play this aggressive, get that opening, and if needed, then commit. This could have been nasty. Hyper does end up getting the trade. A nice tailwind updraft to clear the close angle towards Short, and Master trying to flirt with danger here. Mind you, still has that lockdown, so he's going to be pivotal on this retake as his team concedes the site and are looking. Oh no! Hyper, he finds the linchpin, and Bones able to find the trade. 3v3. Firepower, a decent problem now as the Rolling Thunder is surely gonna come out.
But time. This is wasting so much time. But then again, Venom, I think he popped his ultimate a little bit too early. He could have just waited it out. And now that could just spell doom for them, but still, he's getting the kills he needs to find. Bones misses out on that shot. That's gonna cost him. Venom finds another one for himself, and Crosshair, he's good, but too many angles for him to hold. 4 and 4, and ladies and gentlemen, they're still gonna be able to survive, but on the back of 2 ultimates. At the end of the day, though, the attackers have the Hunter's Fury available, so another strong ultimate for them to play for the post plans. But I do believe they're gonna wait for the Killjoy lockdown before they initiate that one ultimate.
Maybe.
The Killjoy lockdown, I'm pretty sure, as you just said that, hey, Master is gonna be pivotal for the retake, but I don't think he would have gotten any value just because of Psybe.
To some extent, but also, you also need to force out that ultimate, dude. You need to start cycle, like you said, you need to cycle through your ultimates, right?
Yeah,
That's a key part to it. You know, you need to use it when you can. Try to force out the Hunter's Fury when you can. That gives you opportunities, just like what One Tap got searching for towards B main. I'm gonna get it though. As the rest of M42 yet again continue this trend of hitting this ace site. They've always loved the short play, haven't they? That's gonna be the case yet again. Master. to play around the information that his utility has provided him, but he's still not able to translate onto that frag that he started off with. Hyper is gonna be alive, and that's a problem, right? A dead Hyper is a comfortable Hyper if you're true rippers. Otherwise, it's nothing short deadly, and this triple stack duel is short. Oh, the timing!
They know. Oh god, the Outroad's available. Good night, goodbye. That's one, that's two. No, Hyper! He's still gonna be able to find more! The drone didn't clear out the multiple different corners. That's gonna be a deadly one. And two rippers, they're just gonna stop dropping like flies. The Outro, no!
Ay, ay, ay. Thought Venom's play was ambition. Hyper, 15 HP, and the fact that he got 2 frags there was so crucial.
I didn't expect him there at all. And somehow Blackhawk actually got out of that. What? Wait a minute, the Blackhawk teleported out. Everything that could have gone wrong in that round went wrong. And now their economy's down in the ditch as well. Rivers, they're feeling the pain out here. And with this pause, they need, and I repeat, they need to try and figure this out.
Yeah. They need to start killing the pain and feeling the change. Last few rounds at this half, and M42 snatching away this lead. It's been a while since we've seen this ultimates up on True Rippers, right? Especially that Rolling Thunder. I felt like at least in that 3 versus 3, it deserved to go out before the members of True Rippers committed to their peaks. Time is running out, and they really need to find value out of what they have in the bag. And right now, what they have invested is mere pennies. It's only Sheriffs that's on board for True Rippers. Let's not jinx anything again. I mean, it is True Rippers. Ugh. Alright.
There's True Rippers, as you said.
The push. We're gonna see it.
Oh my god, that's a hairline level of a headshot!
Okay, no, we don't talk about the second one.
Hey, it's a Blade Storm, it happens.
It is what it is. Correct? Don't wanna mess with the Sheriff in these quarters. Retake at AMP is again what True Rippers might be going for, although Master committing to his peak from Switch. You'd assume that he'd fall back with Paradox and play this maybe with the numbers, but not the case. Man disadvantage, and it just falls on them. 2 versus 4. It's gotta be an upward climb now for True Rippers. Truly, for this first half to be redeemed.
Either a 7, either a 6 and 6, because you really don't want to go towards the attacking half of Ascent. It's such a bad scoreline, but Bones, he's gonna be able to live through it all. He's gonna be able to live through it. Bones, an absolute demon and a half when it comes down to his Sheriff. He did so much for his squad. Just 1 kill was required to switch everything out, and this man is just on a mission, and he's on a tear of his own. Shots were clean. But then again, he had a Rolling Thunder. Where is the Rolling Thunder? Just use it out, buddy. You know 2 players are on that angle, but then again, if he did use the Rolling Thunder, he just needs 1 shot towards the body to get that kill. I need to see it, dude. I need to see it.
Pass play toward B. Good to a momentarily halt, but again, it's not that freedom that M42 were expecting. True Rippers with the utility dump themselves to some extent. Although Master has been suppressed for a while, so it's hard for him to get anything online. Paradox through the smoke finds Venom. And this round seems all over the place. M42. Pretty sure they just wanted to do something as simple as just switch the pace up. But I doubt even they were expecting such tough resistance.
That was just a fault line from Bones. That 1 fault line completely shut down the attack. 3 players got stunned in that 1 angle. How are they gonna push? Their timing was off, and the rotations were able to come in perfectly because of it. Paradox as well, in the best position he possibly could, playing on the back end of the side. He just waited. Blackhawk got the information, yes, but there was no one to capitalize on top of that information. He needed to cancel the teleport and he was far away from his team. He couldn't even go in for a trade on that regard. And now on this round, one tap got back on the aggressive operator. He's trying to fight that first initial peak, but M42, they're going back to their default play and they're waiting for the defenders to make that first initial move.
Push.
Stack.
Just a fake. It's just a fake. That's what they're trying to make sure True Rippers commit to. And True Rippers are very patient in their lot. They have information to its speed. And Master can buy as much time as humanly possible. True Rippers, they got this opening frag cool, but they can't afford to be overzealous, and that's exactly how one tap god was taken off by Sai. M42 positioning through market, and they make it work! 2v1. Paradox needs this clutch. M42 given time to reposition. They have a crossfire through backside and that's not even necessary. Venom puts the final nail in the coffin and 7-5. M42 walk out of the half with the lead. But this is where M42 need to change their trend from what it was the entirety of last year. They get the lead, cool, but they need to close out the map. They need to take the small W here to then take the bigger W in the context of this best of 3. Will they be able to do it?
Consider the head-to-head battle. Paper and One Tap God, they're pretty much on the same boat. Although these Jets are getting shut down massively on their own regards, they can't really get a lot of value on pretty much anything. And then there's Sai and Bones, 2 initiators just completely wrecking havoc for the entire game. It's insane when you consider the initiators having this much value. And at the end of the day, it's just a couple of over and over!
Bye-bye.
I don't know which is worse, the fact that I cursed Sai or probably One Tap God hurt me and it's like, wait a minute, I'll shoot exactly what.
Dash, they don't clear Rex! Double! Not the triple, the classic runs out of bullets. Spike's in a vulnerable position and Bones was very, very low from the get-go. Blackhawk has information, and that's pivotal. Oh, the footstep.
Oh, they don't know where he is.
It's overheard. They have no clue! Sigh! I mean, that's Crosshair. Wrong Silver that we're talking about here. Master? Gets the ding. Cool. What's his play? Could isolate this plant towards this A site. Both members of M42 towards the main position. So this rotate is going to be as long as heavenly possible. Master needs to pull off the play, but he has more than enough time to set up for it.
30 seconds
What's
left.
the game plan? Shuts off the door, alarm bot towards heaven. A default plant. Oh. Turn on top of the box. That makes things interesting because he's going towards main. A very common position to play the post plan, but not a common position for the turret. He didn't switch out the ghost here, so another point of information that makes this clutch a little harder for him at range. And Blackhawk has one smoke at his disposal. Utility is gonna make or break this round, my friend.
I don't like the placements of any of this. It feels as though he didn't plan it out properly.
Isolated, but not done.
Yeah, he didn't plan it out properly of how he's gonna go in for this clutch. Completely broken off there. And M42, they're gonna be able to walk away with 5-8 lead to themselves. Winning on the pets round here in this scenario is gonna solidify your position even more. Because you gotta remember something, those specters on the map of Ascend can do work if you like to play it aggressively. And that KO should be able to facilitate and do this.
Don't you find like Ascent and Bind are a little too much in terms of specters, especially Bind?
Bind is a completely different entity. On that map, you can run a shorty and get an ace.
Tick speed firepower. Use that.
Not even difficult.
I mean, that's not even difficult. Let's not get there now. That's just your skill speaking, bro.
No. Because I've seen Universe get that so often that I'm done.
Oh, one tap god. Oh,
Whoa.
Same size so hard. Whew. And he manages to make good work of his saving grace.
Turret.
Oh, imagine Venom was able to get that frag.
Man versus turret.
Enemy
Man
remaining.
wins. Or
Spike
bot wins.
down
I don't know
B.
at this point. He's playing a KO.
You're gonna be hosting a new show on the Nat Geographic.
Man versus turret. That's actually kind of catchy right there.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I used to have a teammate. His name was Beast. We were playing a scrim against Asteria, and our man whiffed an entire clip on a turret.
To
On
be
a
honest,
turret. He has a vandal, not a spectre.
no,
A
listen.
vandal.
The thing is, the turret is a lot more difficult to hit than an opponent. I can feel his pain. Trust me. I can one-tap anyone out of the sky, but then again, if there's a stationary turret, it's really hard to hit. But then again, see? Hyper? He's hitting all the shots when it comes down to the guy just trying to drift his way from the air.
But look at this though, so much control towards main because of the spike. Two Rippers are gonna be drawn to this position, and Hyper getting that paradox doesn't make things any easier. Oh god! Ricks! Why did you have to do them so dirty?
He knows what to expect, man. Rix, he's been such a dominant player throughout his entire run on this new roster. It feels as though he's in his element. Before Rix, yeah, he was performing, but his performances were not that outstanding on that regard. Now he's been consistent. 10 and 10 for this man. He has been a beautiful anchor for his entire team. And he's just performing constantly over and over again. And now on this 5 and 10 scoreline, no money in the hands of True Rippers. And pretty much M42, they get a free W over towards the 11 and 5 scoreline.
Now, I've been watching Rix for almost, what, like 6 years at this point. At CSGO, he is very, very proficient with the op. I'm kind of disappointed that going into Valorant, we really didn't get to see him play the Jet as much. I feel like Rix would have been a sick Jet. At least from expectation and past portfolio. He is doing his job here above and beyond, though.
He's playing a good anchor, so you can't even be...
You can't even be mad at his results. It's all about the timing he buys, and more importantly, these crucial small kills he gets here and there, right? Like upgrading from a Spectre after getting those 2 kills, not going down, farming up those alt points. Very, very standard things, but very diligent things that you need to do, especially as a Sentinel.
I'm going to ask you about Jet Nurse as well, man. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel sad for maybe Gold Jet, dude. I don't know how things are gonna look. That shot
gonna look
card
like
was a
that
little
shot
bit of a
card.
problem.
It's gonna look
Yeah.
like that shot card. Sad and very judgmental.
Sad, judgmental, confused, depressed. You know, you name it.
It's me on a regular basis.
Well, let's not go on a regular basis. That's we'll have a small talk after the game. But during the game, though, you still have to give it to M42. Not only do they have the double amount of rounds that True Rippers do, but they're very, very close to map point here. Oh, besides not able to check Tapcod's position. Venom find Bones though, and this is again a very common thing.
Hyper, nah, that's illegal.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Never mind.
Paranoia.
Spike
Trades in.
down A.
1v2. True Rippers. They had the option.
Oh, this guy picked up the gun with a 6 bullets.
Bladestorm. I was gonna say Bladestorm might be up in the task, but nah. 11-5, dude. Things are starting to look really bleak here. We favor True Rippers walking into this matchup, and things starting to look a little sweaty.
Turret out.
42, they did their homework for this map, seemingly. It's their home map, and it's their pickup. And considering how True Rippers are playing, they're getting shut down constantly. Bones is not able to get a lot of value out of that utility whatsoever. Venom constantly shutting him down. As soon as we see a fault line coming in, there's a KO knife to completely block it off. There's a fragment to stop it. He's using one of his own flashes to completely nullify it. The pop flashes are just so strong, and that's a 5-man home! But what tap god? Okay, he's gonna be able to survive that one regardless.
It was well planned, my friend. Oh, what the hell? How?
It's a Vandal.
What?
Vandal doing Vandal things. But then again, I think yeah, size is royally screwed. What?
What? Okay, was it a distraction? If it was brilliant. Side. Oh no! Paradox has his teammate. It's all left on a Blackhawk though, and it's a very doable 1v2. He has silence.
Don't think
He
he
has
knows.
the element of surprise, and he could have the clutch. Spots the head. Yet to put him to bed. Blackhawk on top of the box. But he's not able to find those punches. True Rippers opting to take this operator on the attack.
I'm very confused of what just happened in this round.
I think that's why a little bit of the sadness comes into the picture, right? Sometimes you don't think of these situations, my friend. Trust me, it helps. Just let them go, because the more you try to make sense of it, is the more you lose your sense.
It's not really the thing that's our strong suit, apparently. Trying to analyze these games is way more difficult than doing my thesis report. So, back when I was still a science student, we had to do so many thesis reports on organic chemistry. I forgot what it was.
Yeah,
But
dude.
trust me, it was a lot more simpler than this.
Should have been like me, just taking a bath straight up. Parents gonna be more disappointed. Oh, talking about not being disappointed.
Okay.
This is the lineup I was
Okay.
looking forward to.
Nice. That's a good amount of damage.
Yeah, the one that my friend showed on Discord. So, you know, really nice to see it on the pro play here. Although, once I've got wise to that recon, he already was dealt with it in a round prior, and now patience is his friend. They're able to tear that door down, and they're waiting for this guy. Whips out the Hunter's Fury, still not able to find a single connection. Venom finds one through his aggression. 8 HP is all that's left. And that shock dart does a decent bit of damage. Sai. Information. Gonna get a decent bit of it. Gets attacked. It's possible for that to be now a spam. But Paradox with the operator is left with an all to do.
He's gone. Goodbye, good night. Paradox is dead.
Oh.
And Sai and Rex are just gonna rush in towards the side with the Buddy Venom on the sidelines. Bones. He's trying to hold. But still, 2 bullets and a dream. It's not gonna happen. Not against Sai. The swing's gonna be strong, and a 6-12 scoreline guaranteed for the side of M42. That's how you do it, baby. That's how you gain control.
And the up.
And M42, they're at match point.
They grab that operator. They grab map point. Oh, the recon just betrayed him at the last second. That was looking to be a cool lad, dude. If only he had a different gun. I feel his pain here, Paradox, because there was nothing else he could have done from a position like that, right? Oh, Sag. 5-man rush towards the side. They have the rolling thunder. And one tap god has been flawless on this entry, man. It's these post plants that M42 are doing a very good job of dissecting off.
See all? Here comes the flying Rex. But he's not gonna get cleared. Rex is still open. No one's gonna clear him now. Rex can just sit here. No one's even gonna watch him. It's over.
This is it.
Enemy remaining.
1v3. And it looks like already a very hard task. The drone should just lead to him being cast down at Oblivion. They have both the angles covered, one with the operator, one with the push. Master is being toyed around with. Cap and a clap back
Defenders win.
to the next map. M42. They win map 1 out of this best of 3. We've had doubts, and understandably so. A very, very good turnaround of show, though. If they're able to reverse sweep True Rippers, things become spicy.
This will be a pretty interesting one in general to consider. True Rippers, they have to be feeling the pain here. They're not on the same page when it comes down to the communication. The team is so lackluster. When it comes down to just moving around the map in general, it felt as though one was moving a leg and then the other leg was going backwards instead of forwards. That's literally what it felt like. They were trying to walk, but in the most discombobulated way possible. And as we head on down over towards the match highlights, you're going to be able to notice that as well. The team just was not on the same page whatsoever. Someone was going in for a push while the others were just chilling and going back in towards the side. Angles were not being cleared out religiously. And the bodies just started dropping immediately. A couple of hero plays here and there from players like Bones, One Tap God, Paradox, but how much can you rely on the hero plays to get you through a lot of these sticky situations? Yeah, M42, they played pretty flawlessly. I would say it's not a flawless game. They played really well. They did their executions properly. They were able to go in for their trade games on a proper level. And they were able to take it all away. It was just textbook Valorant. Nothing more, nothing less.
One thing that I feel like we needed a justice in pointing out is the fact that M42 gave True Rippers only a single round in that second half. That's how good their defense was. Some of it, sure, was down to circumstantial reasons why they were able to turn on these situations, but how many of these can True Rippers really afford to give away? It also should be looked at in the other way, right? If they're getting it for a reason. It's because the other team is giving it to them. Phew. Ascent was picked by M42 nonetheless, right?
So it's their map pick. They should be able to take it out away regardless. But True Rippers, it's one of their own historical maps as well. They've gone
Exactly.
through multiple different comebacks on this particular map, and I will always remember their win against God Particles on just Thrifties. I really do believe that playing the Breach here was a pretty big detriment. Breach is not that strong on this map, not anymore, especially against the KO.
Even if it
KO
isn't that
shuts it all.
strong, dude, how many times did you see a rolling thunder in this game? Be honest.
Yeah,
I think it's
yeah,
only
I
one.
know the ultimate cycling was a problem, but then again, against the KO, how much can you get away with? They have so much stall. I can't even blame Bones for it. Yeah, the rolling thunder was a crucial factor for all of this, but he didn't really get a lot of opportunities to use it.
At moments like these, the overcommitment from time to time, just the overzealous nature. And in some instances, you also need to give it to M42, right? Like, how many times do you expect Sai, if put in the same position, to get a double out of the cards he was offered?
This was
Not
just
that common.
sad.
Ugh, F. Again, a lot of F situations here. A lot of situations that were possible, but there's a Valorant, right? Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
See from the beautiful stat screen. You have to say the graphics for this stat screen was absolutely MVP going towards that one tap god for the team, and Sai just reigning supreme above everyone else with 20 kills. The initiator playing the role beautifully, but was it enough for the side of one tap god? It wasn't. 6 and 13. That's a pretty heartbreaking loss for True Rippers.
Even on the attack, dude, One Tap God did his job. Got the entry, at sometimes even the double. I feel like this was less of a problem that One Tap God had and more of a problem with how they tried and synergized in this mid game. Paradox getting unlucky in a couple of situations, Master not really finding success in a lot of these situations. So it was a little weird to see without a doubt. And I think all of us, not only us here at the Esports Club, but even you at home, need a sigh of relief as to what just happened in that map 1. Well, perfect time for you to scan that QR code, grab some popcorn, and be ready for map 2 because we're going to be right back with the break. And you are watching the LG Ultragear Presents the Esports Club Challenger Series powered by ZOTAC. So we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Do not go anywhere.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the LG Ultragear presents the Esports Cup Challenger Series powered by ZOTAC Gaming. We're now back after a pretty, let's say, one-sided affair towards the side of M42 because they were absolutely disgusting the way that they were taking control of the entire map. Ascent was their playground, and all of the members of True Rippers, they were in the wrong house.
Fool. Well, it's Haven. True Rippers. You mentioned the fact that to some extent they still can outduel M42, right? True Rippers. They have. What would you say about Haven? Do you think that they have somewhat of an edge? Because we did so much theory
Possibly.
crafting about who has chemistry, who doesn't, who has what, and then we just saw the last game, right? So I don't know what to
Bad
believe in
days.
anymore.
Bad days.
Hmm. Maybe. Maybe. Although I hope it was only a bad map. It'd be a shame for True Rippers to bow out of a fight like this. They, at least in
Like,
this context, they have that reputation to uphold, in my opinion, dude.
I still remember the days of Masters and one time got just completely running amok on the map of Haven. And then Paradox dropping what? I still remember Paradox dropped a 45 kill game once on a jet.
The
There's
hell?
a
Are
lot
you
of
serious?
historical, yeah, there's a lot of historical moments for this roster on this map. And if
We
they're
said the
able,
same about Ascent, right?
no, on Ascend, they have a good track record for wins when it comes down to very close maps.
Oh,
On Haven, though, it's a different story. This is their playground, and this is why they picked up this map. They are the most comfortable here. But then again,
really?
yeah,
Okay.
Haven is a much more comfort pick. Come on, OG.
It is that comfort pick to some extent. That I'd give it to you. I just hope that it gives them comfort in the context of the best of three. Because nothing should have been like the previous game, dude. Walking into this matchup, you expect True Rippers to at least contest in double digits, right? A 13-6 is not the True Rippers that we all know and love. It's a very, very different look that they're having today.
That's the times for them. But then again, hey, it's just one map. Brush it off. Take that chip off your shoulder. And just keep on moving from it.
Okay.
Because for now, I really want to see some form of a switch up when it comes down to their compositions. They cannot run this breach again.
Yeah,
They
exactly
just,
what I was gonna
they
ask.
just, they just can't because I understand on Haven the breach is decently strong, but I don't think running the breach is gonna give them any. But at the same time, you can pick up the breach and play a lot more aggressively on that regard. The Rolling Thunder also has a lot of potency when it comes down to completely clearing out the sites for a retake or a side take, considering the sites are a lot smaller in regards to something like Ascent. I don't know, honestly, OG, because composition wise, Haven, you can't really stray away from the standardized pickups.
Yeah, you need that chamber. We've seen the jet swapped out from time to time.
Neon,
Uh, mm, mm, okay, that's you.
no,
Also
it's
me
the
from time to
optic
time.
strategy. It's the optic strategy, man. Come on.
It is the optic strategy for sure. How many teams in South Asia have you even seen give a crap about optic strategy? Second question. Because even
Second
Scar
question.
got pulled that Neon out in Bind. I'm not sure. We didn't see much of in terms of Neon even in the international stage, but it's something that we did see him pull out, right? So I think in the greater context of things, it's not about the map. It's more reliant on comfort, which is something that I feel like should change, right? Especially with these teams trying to grasp the cusp of being top SA. They need to break that trend of, you know what, if we don't like it, we don't do it. To, okay, these top teams are doing it and they're doing it for a reason because this is a strategy that works. So let's try employing it in our region and see what the variation looks like. If it's something that works, if it's something that inherently can't function in this region due to the how due to the mindset and due to the way these players consider to take the aim deals and whatnot. So it at least deserves a try. That's all I'm saying.
That's for certain, especially when you consider how many cracked aimers that we have. Our country,
Exactly.
like, that's the thing. We have the raw mechanical talent, but the teams are just falling short when it comes down to the way that they're approaching a lot of the different matchups. And I'm really hoping that one of these days we see the uprise of a team that can completely shift the meta in a different light. They go out of the box, they start picking up stuff like an Astra Neon. I don't know, I don't care. You can go in for something like
Neon.
that. And that's going to be working out on that end. But I do believe that we are having a little bit more of a technical difficulty, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure to check all the links down below in the description, and we're going to be right back after a short little break.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with the LG Ultragear presents the Esports Club Challenger Series, powered by ZOTAC. And it was a short break, cool. All things said and done, it's still a best of three, right? And we need all the players prepped up and ready before we do jump into Haven. The video screen is duly gonna be on. So, in terms of Agent Vito now, what are you expecting? Because a map like this, we always see the chamber. Jet sometimes is phased out, and that's where the neon has the opening to make an appearance for us. Uh, in terms of controller, what do we have to work with? Most of the times, I prefer an Omen. Astra is something that we used to see
Moments
on
guaranteed.
this map for a while, but again, it's very phased out, right? So, Omen to some extent guaranteed. Now let's talk Initiator. Sova, decent on this map. Alongside
Not
that, we've
decent,
seen
it's a guaranteed. Like you need so about this map. If you don't have so about this map, you're throwing.
exactly, but the point is, it opens up the double initiator, and that's where I want to make that difference. Because we've seen teams go for the breach, we've seen teams go for the KO occasionally, we've seen teams also go for the sky. So that's where diversity is at an all-time high in terms of the initiator department, and that's what I want to see the difference being made. Let's quickly head in the agent select, ladies and gentlemen. Hyper, I'm pretty sure is debating us, so let's not fall for it. Again, take it from me, guys. A person who's fallen for it on multiple occasions. It's like a cipher trap. You
If
see
it's
it,
on
you
bind,
still
if
want to
it's
walk
on
into it.
bind, I would understand.
Oh, you think he wants to pull out a Forsaken play?
Yes. See. Hey, I'm a fan of paper rigs, okay? After what they do. And hey, Benka is an absolute god. He's a
But
chat man.
are you a fan of the Skilljoy pickup though?
No. I personally would say.
Especially
Rigs,
against the Breach and the Sova?
yeah.
Oh,
Goodbye lockdown.
okay. You have, I think, a pretty standard draft on either end, except for that Killjoy coming out in M42. I'm still thinking, man. Killjoy on a map like Haven, at least
No, the thing is
maybe a
that
year ago, yeah.
no. The problem is Killjoy and I hate it. It's not bad. It's good. The fact is she has way too many counters. So why in
Exactly
the
my
name
point.
of God do you want to play a Killjoy on a map where you have no safe position to even use a
The
lockdown?
lockdown. Hmm. I just hope that M42 are ahead of whatever they've
Wait, is
tried to
Para in a new
choreographed.
place? Did he move to a new house or a new apartment or something?
All I know is he's having a nice meal, dude. I don't know if it's a chewing gum or something he's eating, but let's hope he doesn't eat the same amount of headshots that he did in Ascent. Ascent, a lot of situation where Paradox was at a disadvantage just walking into the deal. This time, though, he has a chance to change that story completely. Paradox is playing that Omen as well. At least in the last map, he tried his best in terms of support duty. In this match, though, I feel like he might have a more even matchup. Again, this is M42's second map, so it's not their map pick here. It's true Rippers who are walking into this thinking that they're the clear favorites. How does M42 rebuttal?
Try and figure something out. They can't go in for the same strats that they did in the last couple of iterations because okay, they're going in for a pretty aggressive push from mid, and Blackhawk, if he's not able to read this one properly, could just be a bad thing. But Blackhawk's position, it's already known. Blackhawk,
God.
they
They're
know
in
he's
towards A. Look at the flank towards A.
what? Bones is able to airstrip his way out of it, but Sai, he's doing
A.
damage control and he's making sure that he doesn't get caught out. Hyper needs to find one more. Hold the positions, hold the spike. It's a wraparound. Who's the defenders and who's the attackers? Because the attackers are still able to hold it down strong, but the spike is still not in their favor. Blackhawk, he needs to find the kills and he's gonna be able to find the shots as well. One Tap God takes a back seat, and now it's all up to Bones. No utility whatsoever. Doesn't know the positions, and Ricks. Freebie for him. Bones can't even do anything to try and bring this one back. 1-0, and what just happened? The defenders went from B over to A main, where the spike was just sitting around, and the attackers went from inside of B, from A link, over onto A long.
A very nice play from M42, understanding that, on the back of the information they got towards B, the aggression is going to be in a way where it's on the back lines as well. So they needed to play aggressive in that small window there, and they did. It was all reliant on that
was
small
smart.
window that they find success.
That was a good call to go in for a full wraparound instead of trying to fight over on the side. They had the spike, they had the control, but now They need to worry about the plant coming on over to B. Goodbye, one-tap god. You will be missed!
Oh, the dash. He didn't
Spike
do it.
down B.
Yeah. You need an armor there to survive. And a hyper. It's his turn to maybe find a kill, but Crosshair's not going to give him anything. What?
The betrayal. Spectre close range doesn't turn out Venom. He spots out the head, but he's not able to take out Bones and Crosshair. Timing is his friend. The man advantage now on the side of True Rippers. Is Blackhawk gonna be allowed to half stick this? Is he gonna
Oh, he's
full
gonna
stick
full
this?
stick it.
Oh
Stick
no! Those don't fake!
Player standing.
The call from... Okay, buddy. Okay, do you know the worst thing about this? The
I'm
fact
trying to
is... No, the fact is they got the spike plan down and none of them died. So their money's in a pretty...
Oh god, I just realized, holy crap.
Right here.
Yeah.
That is so funny. I've never
Even
seen
if they win
I've never
here.
seen this.
Yeah, exactly. Even if they win here, this is pretty bad.
Alright. A unique opportunity now to Rippers to claw their way back. But it's a very, very unique situation for them to dig out from. Not in a good way, am I using the word unique. This position though is darn right aggressive, and Blackhawk with a Spectre. That is criminal.
Okay. Whoa, with an operator, buddy. Okay, coming down. Here comes the no! God's gonna be doing something else. Last person remaining is gonna be Paradox's position's already revealed. It's gonna be a wraparound. It's gonna be Venom holding it down strong. He has an Omen Smoke to play around with. He can easily play this one angle. He can go around, but where are you?
Yeah, badabadoo. Oh. The bullet gives it away, and Venom is not able to pull it out. Dude, the amount of things that just went bat crazy this round. You can't make a list out of this. What are we witnessing here, dude? Is this a game of Valorant, or is this... I don't even know what to call it. The amount of... Yeah, I think I finally... Again, I think we've been using this word from since day one. Welcome back to the Bamboozle series, dude. Just never ceases to amaze.
There's so many awkward interactions here in this entire series that you can't even make it up. But then again, one tap god, he's trying to make up something else. Okay, he's gonna try to run it on down through. Ripped. Good for one, but he's not gonna be good for anything more.
Nice
Venom.
point, though.
Yeah, Venom's pretty much got out. Free kill for.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a strepsil. I need a strepsil.
I think they need the Heimlich maneuver, my friend. Slight joke. Except they're not choking on too much. M42 don't have much to work with anyway. It's only Psy. Then again, we've seen the story on M42 just turn the table quite often, so... If they're even able to get a couple of kills here, considering what they did to the last round to True Rippers, that would be a huge turmoil for True Rippers to then walk out of.
This is done. Just save that gun side because you still have a lot of utility to work with. He's gonna be able to save it out regardless. All the members of True Rippers, they're going towards C-Long. Sai making his way out. Blacklist on the die to the spike to get that extra money. 2 and 2. Not really the end of the world, I would say. They still have ample amounts of money to work with here for the following round. And with that, it's pretty good for them. While for True Rippers, Bones, he already started off pretty strong. 5 kills on the initiator. He's been making a statement on map number 1 and also map number 2.
Although, considering the way True Rippers started off this map, it's good to see them surge back, right? Equalize us out early. They have the chance to now contest for the lead, which, after that Ninja Defuse, you'd highly doubt. Well, they've done it. True Rippers. What is gonna be their mojo now? They weren't able to save that op here, M42. Oh, True Rippers. They're walking into utility here, and that is very, very unfortunate to some extent. The Rolling Thunder, and that allows Sai to play aggressively. Blaster, he needed to win out the duel against him. Hyper. Very nice shot on a one-tap god. Blackhawk, is he gonna make the play yet again? Jumps out of heaven and all the way down to hell and is dead.
He didn't stick the landing. He went straight down through the floor. Look at that. 2 and 3. For Rippers, pretty strong start for them. They are reading into any form of an aggressive play that M42 are making. And M42, I do believe they're becoming a little bit too overzealous on that regard. They need to slow down. They need to go in for the slow, methodical retakes. This is the map of Haven. This is no longer Ascent. You have a lot of different sidelines and a lot of different corners to worry about whenever you're trying to retake a site. Use the utility that you have. Why even go in for peaks as such? And I want to know something. Did Blackhawk not have a flash the way that he jumped down?
I don't think he did. At the leg?
Not shot.
Yeah. The most effective place to take your enemy down, huh? Spotted our Paradox, who had been tacked down dangerously low because of that Blade Storm. At least one tap god is gonna be able to get this A side where no defenders yet set foot. The retake effort is gonna be on already. And Hyper has only one knife for him to work with.
His way out, Hyper. He needs to find a kill. Not gonna be able to find anything here. Positions are way too out in the open. One tap god gets a free double. And he's still gonna be able to live it through it all. Pre-plan. Couple of shots. Blackhawk's gonna be good for 1 kill. But that's all that he's gonna be able to find. He needs to run on away. And once again, it's done. It's dusted. But then again, Blackhawk, he's trying to get as much value as he possibly can out of this.
He's trying his very best. Again, Marshall at this range is very good with that scope. Not gonna be the case though. 4-2. And True Rippers now feeling comfortable in that territory. I feel like Hyper could be set up for an even more aggressive play in this early aspect of the round. Blackhawk and Baby Sai could set the play up in a way where he might be able to play aggressive towards A lobby, at least take the forward stance. That's what's going to be important here. Talking about taking the aggressive stance, talking about taking it a step ahead. Is this gonna be a blatant commitment to see from True Rippers? Everybody's stationed outside long, and now they find inside the rotation.
Look at Hyper. Look at Hyper. Hyper's all the way towards the back end. Paradox gets enough information that the players are rotating over towards that A side, but then again, the rotations are not that massive. They just ran over to garage to try and go in for this hit, but an absolute and utter chaos. Everyone's jumping out of the garage window. Okay, buddy, sure, but Blackhawk has their phone number. He's trying to call up one more, but he gets rated out almost immediately. They know the players are in position. They're gonna need to hit all of the shots. Venom's gonna be good for the trade, but he gets rated out himself. And with this a 2 versus 3 situation, an absolute bonkers of a attack strategy. No one even expected this to happen. They're gonna be able to find it all. Hyper equalizes.
2v2. Hyper still having that operator puts him at a minor disadvantage, especially in the terms of this duel. He's at a significant disadvantage as Bones has the angle up close.
Oh,
Trades out the weapon, smart play. Master can't afford to use the Hunter's Fury here. A 1v2. Trigger Discipline could have won him this round, and he's now left it at the cusp of uncertainty. Still gets the death. Sigh. The information might have just been a second off, but that's a second that's way too costly for M42. The way True Rippers just played the trade game so confidently with that push through window, I think I've never seen anything like this. And dude, I think you can speak for this aggressive casting Valorant for over a year. First time. That is just True Rippers playing out of their box.
In the last 2 years of the stuff that I've seen, it doesn't surprise me that True Rippers are the ones who are getting away with some stuff. This is their home turf for a reason, and they know this map like the back of their own hand. They're gonna try and do the pain as much as they possibly can to keep it all up as well. Okay, a lot of utility being utilized to take control of the site. I understand that you respect the side of M42, but you don't have to put insult to injury in that basis. Rex peeks out, gets caught out as well, and Hyper with a frenzy at that range. Yeah, good luck trying to hit a shot with that, buddy.
Yeah. Rix was just trying to hit a diamond window there, so understand. Okay. Hyper is just a little too hyper for his own good. True Rippers 6-2. At least on the back of the eco in the run prior, M42 will be able to reinvest. But ever since that pistol round, M42 have just died out, dude. The flame's gone, the spark's no longer there. They need to rekindle it. They have
Rekindle the bonfire, you mean?
Yeah, they have 3 ultimates on the side of True Ripper, so it's gonna be very hard. And especially that Tote Force, when you're gonna be on the hold for that post plant, it denies a lot of the trades that M42 need to commit in order to win the round. And that could be the game changer. And so could Hyper's operator, which is tucked in towards this A-long position. Utility, come on, please use utility to clear this angle. Don't fact check it, don't dry check it. They're not. The jump spot.
That's good. That's gonna be a tag, and that tag not gonna be able to find out much. Here comes the spam. Good amounts of damage because of that shock dart, and Hyper's gonna be able to finish up the job as well. Sends one tap god back home packing, and now you don't have the entry anymore. You gotta be careful of how you retake this fight, because once again, he's going in for the recipe.
Okay, dude, that's too much.
Hyper.
They had the
He can't
recall, they had the
get-
drone, they had so much utility to facilitate that. Not sure why he had to do dry.
Yeah.
So with life, he's gonna say bye-bye. The man disadvantage now, True Rippers. Their mid-round has been what's given them the edge in this
Get Rick's.
matchup, and Rick's
I
position
don't think he's gonna get cleared, of course.
has the backup of Venom, which both works in tandem. I love this finisher, dude.
I hate it.
Why? You don't like the
It's
music?
No, it's the thing is that it said, I have listened to what Zed can produce, and I'm a massive fan. And it feels as though this bundle doesn't do him that much justice at all.
At least the FX are cool, dude. Not gonna lie.
It's a light show.
What else is gonna be?
I would
cool,
still
bro?
prefer my graphics card.
Get out of my way.
Graphics card vandal is good, dude.
Okay. One tap god. I'm surprised that he's able to make his way past so many front line areas without just eating a bullet. He's used all his utility though, and this is chance for them to now whip out the lockdown at their own, bait out this Hunter's Fury, and Hyper on this operator flank, dude. This is a lot of time now being wasted, which he has to compensate for by whipping out the blades. Cool. Fast play though. He needs to right click this, or else he's gonna go down a very, very narrow drain, and one tap god started things off really good. Taking out Rex. Hyper is like, nah bro, let's just save. I wanna save this operator. And Sai might just look to do damage, but again, from the position that M42 are fighting from, you know, a position of disadvantage in this first half, really can't afford to give anything for free.
Oh, one tap god's gonna be able to survive. And that's gonna hold. They do have the operator and 2 more guns to work with, so not really the end of the world, I would say, when it comes down to their eco. They have the full buys, they have what they require to just turn this round around, but it's a 3-7 and you need these last 2 rounds. You do not want to go on a 9-3 half over to your attacking side, because the attacking side can be very, very unpredictable. And you do not want to have such a small margin of error as soon as you go in for a side score.
True Rippers truly looking to force out this map 3. And this operator, this time on baby side, the fault wire is gonna force him to a much more passive angle. That recon bolt's gonna give away the aggressive play that one tap god's trying to go out for. Flash does good to push Sai back. He's still not gonna be deterred from taking the peak, however. Man disadvantage yet again, dude. Things simply do not get better for M42.
Getting a good amount of information out at the bare minimum, though. But once again, it's a double operator setup. And they're gonna run away. They're gonna save this double up. It's Jame time.
I believe in Haven. It's somewhat possible to make the double operator work, but that's only if you're winning your deals.
Yeah, but at the same time, we see the members of True Rippers just dumping all of their utility and just not giving the operators a single sideline
my
to work
point.
with.
What you gonna do with the double operator setup if you don't have the chance to peak where you want to peak? That's my question.
They're not taking any of these duels dry. That's the good part about this. And because of that, they're able to get away with so much.
Exactly.
Once again, last opportunity for the double operator to just rain hell from above, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
Neither am I, bro. I don't think either of us are believers in the double op. Maybe in CSGO, but not on Valorant. Not at all. If you have the Todefos, maybe. Give me the benefit of the doubt there, because the Todefos.
That's a Marshall.
Yeah, at least close range, long range with a quick zoom in time, and you know, with the ability of you hitting a fatal blow regardless where you do it, possibilities are there. Not with the operator though.
Oh my god, Crosshair, he's playing entry. He's rushing his way over towards the sideline and Riggs. That's a good amount of information being given away. Yep, that's utility clearance, and the fact that they cleared out all of the utility over onto Garage Riggs, he needs to worry about that angle now.
The rotation.
Oh, Hyper, beautiful shot on towards the face of Masters, and with Masters already dead, now you don't have that solo utility to facilitate a lot of the utility that could be coming on down from the breach. How do you want to set it up? You need to go into the side blind now. And Riggs, he's waiting for his opportunity to shine.
Utility has been the key, and this operator is paying dividends. Close range, one tap got straight up RNG system. Blackhawk, close range. That bird has simply lost his trust over so many attempts of it not working, and Hyper TP sap with the spike. Plant, nice stuff. Now they can attempt the plant paradox. He's been waiting for the lunge from Window and Venom. Giving away the gun he's using, which will deter Paradox from a close fight. 2v3. Todefos, we need to see it up, Crosshair. Last round, you got this, my friend. Yeah, I wanted to play. Let us play, my friend. Hyper is coming out on this flank. And they did smoke it out, so they're trying to make it a little unexpected. The TP on double side will give them information, and Paradox a little bit of position to work. Oh, the paranoia gives away the
Beautiful
play. F.
The hole was good, and M42, they're gonna be the ones that live it down through. Nicely done, I would say. Almost no mistakes in the long run. Of course, Riggs did get RNGs on, so not much that he can do there. But on the other side, pretty, I would say, flawless round for the side of M42. They got the trades, they had the rounds, and for True Rippers, they just got completely out-dueled in a lot of different cases. Hyper, aggressive play over onto A main, had the control, Masters just walked in. Nothing that Master could have done, he wasn't even prepared for it.
A new half though. You mentioned that the breach is a little harder to run on the attack than on the defense, right? Because of not having surety of information.
No, that's primarily based upon the solo. With the breach on attack, you have a lot of, you can just play the round as if you would play the breach on maybe something like bind or even split. But on defense, it's a lot more difficult because at that stage, yeah, you throw out a little bit of utility, but that utility getting value can't guarantee that.
And now that there is the chamber on the other side, dude, this double op setup will start looking very dynamic. We talked about M42's double op setup. They have only a jet. Sure, they have, you know, Sky, Omen, Sova, KJ, but characters which aren't really geared to wield the sniper. But here, on the other side, on True Rippers, we have both the chamber and the jet. Even if you do get to see a double op, it should be True Rippers that should be able to yield a little more of this. And again, they have a 4-round deficit heading in to this pistol round, right? Even if they don't get off to a flying start, there's a lot of opportunity for them to display what they have set up on their defense duty. It's on M42 now. All pressure on them. Sure, they won the first map out, but it's very important that they find their way back into this. A map 3, we've all seen what true Rippers are able to do after a massive resurgence.
My God, Crosshair's been an absolute demon the way that he's taking control of these fights. Shots are just beautiful from this man. Just completely deletes Hyper out of existence and breaks. He's on very low levels of HP. How is he gonna play this one out? Because currently, it looks as though M42, they've lost direction in which side they want to go to.
Now that they've lost the jet, he could be used as the entry, you know, just a bait piece that could give them the chance to find the entry. They've committed to the tail base towards garage.
Scout destroyed.
Doesn't yield as much as they'd want to expect. Blackhawk being adventurous, but not too intrusive towards garage. It's gonna be a B hit by the look of things, and Rix should be the second man in, or at least the man traded shocked off. Ay ay ay. Master's on 40 HP himself, so not a comfortable place to be by any stretch at the margin. Master recon does it diligently, but knows that there are going to be people who hold this angle on the peak, and Paradox gets removed. The 3 versus 3 things start opening up for M42, and one time got there to shut it down in the nick of time. Not going to be happening though. It's all on Crosshair. Needs to deliver this 1v2 on a silver platter.
Enemy remaining.
My God, his Crosshair placement is perfectly on point. Venom, this is such a common position. This could be bad for you if you're not careful. He's gonna get cleared as a thing. Oh wait, no. What?
Again, you cursed him, dude.
I feel like Tarek now.
I'm sorry.
I'm kind of imagining what CCV would have been thinking if he was here alongside me with all the curse and all the other fiasco. I think CCV would have just been like, yeah, I'm leaving the
He's
chat.
a believer. No. He's a believer.
Really? He's
No.
changed?
Listen, he doesn't believe in the 9-3 curse, but he believes in the caster's curse.
That's so double standard.
I know. Oh! Crosshair.
2 bullets he had down the drain.
It's fine. It's called intimidation.
It's called warm-up shot.
Yeah, it's the intimidation tactic. There, okay.
That was scary.
With a frenzy, that man, that balls of steel to try and go in for that kind of a play, but Bones,
Close range,
maybe.
that could be burst. Yeah. Nice trade though. Everybody from M42 are on such a stance where if one of the members even do end up going down, right? They're in close proximity to trade each other off. Paradox, very little he can do. Captures that ultimate orb, so does try and get as close to his ultimate. Yeah, small W's in the long path of maybe a victory here was still not clear. As M42, they did win the pistol, and it looks like they're gonna win this as well. This edge that True Rippers did get by winning out the first half with a significant margin is gonna evaporate in the nick of time, bro. This is Valorant. There's very little downtime. Make one slip up and it gives your foes the opportunities to set ways to come back. That's exactly what M42 are in hopes to do.
Here.
Hyper, he's gonna be playing the bonus alongside his teammates, and especially in Haven, it's not that hard to make the Spectre work. They have the opportunity to go towards garage. They have the opportunity to go towards A, where even the post plants can be played in uncomfortably close situations. So M42, it's the onus on them to take something out of the bag of creativity and implore it in a round like this to ensure that their comeback train is not disrupted.
See the hole for now, though. But Hyper gets caught out completely in the open. No backup whatsoever because of that recon bolt, and he's gonna die because of it as well. First initial kill onto your jet entry. That is gonna spell doom entirely. But Blackhawk.
Smoke! It dissipates at the nick of time, and the Seeker should be a dead giveaway of this play, and it's all reliant on this close range Spectre finding success!
What?
Oh,
Side?
Paradox! He finds the fadeaway headshot and Crosshair could finish it all, and he does!
How did Paradox?
He
The
has
guy
bigger
teleports.
Spectre. He has
No.
the bigger Spectre, that's the difference.
Yeah, he has the older brother, but still. The man teleports, crouches, micro just to get a kill. When 3 people were staring at him. 3 people.
Oh god, aggressive.
If you could see my face.
If only Bangla was so economic to travel to, I'd pay to see it.
Yeah. I wish that kind of stuff happened during my rankings.
Oh, this close play. Crosshair.
That kind of stuff does happen in my rankings.
Hyper? Punished for his hyper aggression, although this could be a masterful play. The double was very crucial because now it's man advantage nullified and regained. Rex with the triple episode and he has the lockdown. Bones can deny it. This is what we were told and this is what happened.
That's a denial, but at the same time, how much more can you get out of this round? You need to get into the side and try and get some form of a designated advantage, but it's not gonna happen. Paradox good for 1, but I think this round's done and dusted. He needs to jump in towards the side, find 1 kill, and then readjust onto another. Not gonna be easy. They're just gonna wait. And Venom, he's not even giving away information. Sai's just like, okay, come down, boy, come down. Not gonna happen today. Sai's gonna find that kill. And a 7 and 9 scoreline to boot things off. Good start for M42, and a good amount of damage being done over to the defense, because now you can see it from their money that they're hurting quite a lot, but to the force, that's gonna be the damage control that they need. Okay, they're going for a full-on save, even though 3 members have buys. Smart move. They're playing for the long haul, and they do not want the ball to get out of their court anytime soon.
Triple stack towards A. Yells out aggression, aggression, aggression. Inferior weaponry, True Rippers. We've seen them do this
God!
so many
Oh,
times.
just to rattle him down to the core.
And after that initial jitter, M42 are like, nah, we're heading to its seat. Thank you very much, sir. And they take the site. Plan for long as well, which they should be able to get control of very easily, considering they do have Zai on the back lines. He's taken a very, very nice route. Wait, didn't he hear that? Wait, why didn't he hear that? I heard it in my headset. Okay, that was weird. But this Rolling Thunder is going to be absolutely necessary because this plant perfectly set up for this play. And oh, the Rolling Thunder might just give it away! The stick! In the nick of time. What that god did what he absolutely need to there, right? He just bought time. Rolling Thunder takes that engagement, doesn't allow them to beat the angle. Rather, kill me. Exactly what needed to be done. And True Rippers, we mentioned that as soon as the round started, right? No strangers to winning round like this. Exactly why.
I'm confused. Even I heard the footsteps coming on from the chamber. This one play just happened because Crosshair got a freebie on towards the face of Sai. If Sai found that kill, it was already done and dusted. But then again, this doesn't look that good now, does it? Just yet. It's a 7 and 10 scoreline, as you can already see. And Paradox, I don't know if taking a pause like this is going to help you out when it comes down to the momentum, my man. You already had so much momentum to work with, and now you're giving your opponents an opportunity to just completely reevaluate themselves and just go into this round with a fresh new face.
I really see Blackhawk go into more setup rather than being that secondary duelist, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I feel like that could completely change the way True Rippers have to approach this game. Sure, Blackhawk has been getting the kills, but as a Sky, that's not your objective. Your objective is the setup. And most importantly, True Rippers are gonna be in a situation where they have the money to afford that operator. And I see it on the hands of Paradox. There we go. Nah. He's like, classic Jabit. You guys fell for it yet again. Haha. Get wrecked. And M42, they understand that the B site's very, very good for these CQC engagements. If they're able to get the plant down here and play the close angles, still possibilities are open to them. And Crosshair, as soon as we say that, comes in with a jinx, finds that frag through the smoke. He doesn't have the dash available here, but he's baiting the play for Rix. One top of that, though, very wise to that tail. The tailwind denies any kind of play from Baby Sai. 5 HP, close range, nada is what he's gonna get. 11 to 7. The grounds for M42 to end this, a 2-0, slowly started to evaporate. And that is crucial. M42, if they're looking for a W here, you better hope that they take it in a map like this, right? Where they have the opportunity to grasp it. Otherwise, in a map that's coming, you never know how it's gonna pan out. Here, they've done a good resurgence in their second half. But this comeback is not over yet. They need to finish off what they started. And that's for either side.
And all of this is panning out. It's just even more... I don't know. It's leaving a bitter taste in their mouth, the way that M42 are playing. I understand going for fast rushes from mid over onto A. It's a good take. It's not bad. I like the idea, but when it comes down to the players playing their roles, I'm not really noticing any of that. Hyper's doing his own thing, and no one's trying to go in for backup to try and help him out. 4 players got caught out by the recon bolt, and here comes pretty much the entire army.
Ooh.
And Sai?
Okay. Quick escape. Advantage on the court of True Rippers. The drone from Baby Sai should enable the aggression through short, and Rix. Oh, he's flashed by. What the hell? Ow! Rix finds that trade, and Crosshair yet again getting another frag to his name. True Rippers, a lot of what they are doing in this round is reliant on the success that Crosshair has found early. This retake situation where M42 have found themselves in a back foot, they're gonna rely on this close stack towards side helping them. No backstab yet to come, which means that this side stack is gonna be all the more powerful. Oh, True Rippers find the opening, and this is their undoing. M42, Rix, the experience, is it gonna pave the way to greatness? Master now in the 1v1. Rix Phantom betrays him. And time, I think Master just about clinched this round.
More than enough.
Map and map. Oh, it's only map point. We still have another map to go if True Rippers are good enough to clinch this map. M42, they gotta be feeling gutted. In a situation like that, you really can't play grouped up together.
I don't know. It feels as though the entire team is just falling apart. No coordination whatsoever on that regard. Flashes coming in, no calls being given. Rix running out of the smoke, and then after he ran out of the smoke, Blackhawk went in for a flash. Just didn't make any sense. The team are running around like headless chickens.
Oh, wait, how did that hit?
It was on his right side, man. You didn't see that?
Well, it's even a little too quick. Oh! Whew.
All right, baby, just take it all away because Blackhawk's gonna be in the house to play as well. 7 and 12, they're still trying to retaliate and maybe find something. They're still alive and kicking, but for how long?
I hope production's got that clipped.
Make sure that it's shipped.
Come on, production, let's see it.
Assassin.
Let's
Yeah,
see
baby,
the
you got us covered.
real assassination.
Boom! Ah. Just micro shot that man out of existence, why don't you?
Yeah, I think a little bit of my breakfast just fell to the floor, just like One Tap God's body. I mean, that's Hyper's body. Regardless. Disgust and pleasure aside, True Rippers still need to finish this game. 4 rounds. And 42 left with no margin of error if they want to push this to OT. And One Tap God has his fabled operator. The Hawk does push him just a little bit, and this recon does them decent to get information. Although the Hunter's Fury doesn't really do anything to True Ripper, so we're gonna rip apart this play. The HP on Hyper so low, but force on the Hyper stands, and True Rippers finishing off what they started. Rix is the last man standing, and he's the last man down. 13-8. And True Rippers answer the question. Did they have it in them? And it seems like they so very do. They've clinched Haven, and we head to a map 3 to decide who's gonna take the W in this best of 3, ladies and gentlemen. M42, a brilliant display in map 1. but they just dropped the ball in that second half. Blackhawk, a couple of his utility plays were questionable. Now, a lot of plays through that smoke, the Hawk being mistimed, and a lot of situational plays that you really can't expect, man. Especially that look play that Crosshair was able to get on a baby Sai, and then they were able to translate that into that C-long crunch where they won the round on the Thrifty. Uh, those are rounds that you just go back to the drawing board and you want to erase every time you paint that picture. And I think the only thing that can paint a good picture for what happened in Haven is the highlights. So let's relive what's been an extravaganza of a map 2.
Because at the end of the day, yeah, the first initial round was such a beautiful form of communication from members of M42. Crossfires were done perfectly. They went in for the wraparound play and they were able to retaliate in the perfect way possible. But then this happened. How and why?
Like, the
It
clip.
felt as though everything just started falling apart after that second round hit.
Exactly, right after that Ninja Diffuse, it never really looks like M42 with the same M42 that we all know and love. If I'm not wrong, this is the round where Hyper went for the dash. Like, what the hell, bro?
This was so ambitious. The plays that M42 were making, it was not on the ideology of, okay, maybe we're going to be able to take this win because we are playing like this. But no, they were running into the site without any form of a plan. Like, look at this. Blackhawk had a flash.
M42 are a little. I'm not sure if this is just them being phased, but even as soon as the side swapped, M42 didn't really get much out of the oven. And the first half was so abysmal that they barely had any room, right? As soon as they lose like a pistol and maybe a buy round, it's already like map point to two Rippers. At least close to
So
it.
composed throughout all of it. Even in the moments of chaos, Ripper just played out of their minds, and one tap god made this entire map into his own home. He knew exactly where he needed to run. Movement was on point. His operator shots were disgusting on his regard. Pinpoint perfect shots on towards the head of his oppositions. He just doesn't miss. They had no way of shutting this man down, and he just run amok the entirety of Haven.
Like, dude, a solid performance by True Rippers, sure. But how do you even take this best three battle when two teams have been polar opposites on, the two maps that they've played? Like, walking into the show, you might think True Rippers have somewhat of an advantage because they won map 2. But in all honesty, how much of a grain of salt can you take that with? We've seen turnarounds real quick. And again, plays like these, you know, really need to be wary as to how you're going to approach utility play. Can't afford to be.
Ow!
Some questions, again, better left unanswered, my friend. The fact that Crosshair was able to pull off these plays, let alone should yell for an M42 that rethinks the strategy on Haven.
Again, the Chambers, they're always the unsung heroes. Prosser with 21 kills. Didn't even expect him to play.
At this point, map 3, it's gonna be a no man's land. I don't think anybody can even try making a prediction, let alone us. I feel like it's pointless at this point. With how the first two maps have been, either side getting bested and besting the other, not allowing the other to touch double digits. The true test. Hopefully, this time we do see what we did see in map 2, which is a very identical graph. Just notice so many differences in the micro scheme of things, and that's something, ladies and gentlemen, you guys will have to wait for. So scan the QR code, grab your Cannon Rebel, grab your bowl of popcorn or grab your dinner even if you need be, because this might be a long affair and you need to be ready for the long haul because you are watching the LG Ultragear presents the Esports Club Challenger Series powered by ZOTAC, and we'll be back right after a short break. So grab your lunch and grab your dinner and we'll be right back.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the LG Ultragear presents the Esports Club Challenger Series powered by ZOTAC Gaming. And honestly, OG, I don't know how I feel. I got my trusty bottle of water. I I just feel a little bit heartbroken for the members of M42. That's all I have to say. This was not a performance that we expected from them, and it was an underperformance in general. I really hope they were able to recollect themselves and get themselves on the same page.
Yeah,
A
and I kind
lot
of get.
of questionable plays, man. It just didn't pan out. And as we head on down over towards the map screen once again, that scoreline really did paint the picture that M42, it didn't work.
Nothing worked, dude. And considering that they're playing against true rippers who have a, let's say, scary result of what usually happens in map 3 of a best 3 series when they're the favorites. I think we all know where it's heading. And true rippers, I'm interested in what is their game plan here to change things around, because M42 have been on their tippy toes, right? Even in the map that they did lose, cool. A lot of situations went on the wayside because of the way the team kind of played the situation, but you still get the feeling that the individuals on M42 still are feeling it hot, right? So there is the potential for this to certainly turn around, but as the seconds pass, it's bleaking for the side of M42. It's fading, and with this being split, they're going to be reliant on a good start.
Split is one of the maps that you really don't want to go up against the members of True Rippers at all. I'm just reminiscing about the fact that True Rippers, they played this map against a lot of the other teams who are close to their own skill range, and they have not missed it. Yeah, True Rippers have a pretty solid win rate on this map. And M42 are now facing off against a team that are well known on this map, and they're the most affordable ones. If they don't get their game plan together, I think that M42 they could be taking an early exit down towards brackets.
So it's also a map that not only requires you to have the discipline at the right time, but also very fluid game plan, especially on that defense theory, right? It's a map that really punishes you if you're trying to play static. You need to be aggressive at one part or the other, either towards main, either towards mid, and you need to do it on the back of not only timing, but crucially utility. Something that M42 haven't really been able to do successfully over the past two maps. Even on the first map, I feel like M42, they could have had better utility usage, even though they didn't win it out cool. It's in their book. The fact that they won it says more about the way that True Rippers played, especially that first half when they gave away so much needlessly. They're not going to get that same opportunity again.
At this point, how do you want to play the map split, and what do you really want to do? We know for a fact that Sai is going to pick up that KO guarantee. He always plays the KO on this. But then we need to think about the chamber. Now, chamber is a really strong pickup on the map split, don't get me. But against an KO, the shutdowns that you can get, it's just a
Immense.
completely different matter.
So we can expect the KO. Should expect a controller, and that most probably being Omen. So have that locked out. In terms of the duelist split, has a lot of angles where you can take that operator fight. Also has the opportunity to display a raise if they feel it. I've seen a lot of showstopper plays towards that A main position. So you're never in a shortage of those CQC's narrow corridor, which you need to make a race work. You have that as another option to dive in alongside your jet. So we might be breathing down the necks of maybe a double duelist, or even to some extent a double controller or a double sentinel. In my opinion, I feel like the chamber sage combo is something that's still a little more viable on a map like split. So having that double sentinel combo will help to some extent if you're M42 and you just want to hold out the aggression that True Rippers want to throw out. The double controller meta is something that I don't really like, but it's something that's sort of potent once you're able to gain control. If you're able to put yourself in a decent post plan situation, if you're able to put yourself in a defense situation, in a better defense situation when you're on that half, it makes the life of your defense and your life of the post plan far more simpler and easier to play on the back of cover and utility. But that's half our theory. That could go down the drain where it came from, because there might not be a jet from M42. We're gonna get to see that race. A double sentinel duo, but crucially, the chamber is not present. As the Killjoy alongside the Sage. A Killjoy setup is something that we've seen dismantle on the map prior, but that was on the back of having not only a breach but also a Sova. Here's where the difficulties start. They have only the KO, and sure, the KO does have that molly that somewhat does break the lockdown that Briggs can place, but it's very reliant on Paradox having a very heads-up play on the lineup.
I don't think that Paradox is gonna go through on that end, but it's fine.
Double Initiator on the other side though. True Rippers.
Double
if they lock it
Initiator
up
on
high-
split, dude. I don't know how I feel about that.
Come on, Crosshair. What's the plan? I just started going for the Omen though,
I think
so
double
the expected
Sentinel
plays
is
out.
guaranteed. Okay,
Hey.
double Initiator on split.
You'll curse yet again. You just had to say it, and it's done.
It just doesn't make sense.
Look at Crosshair just staring at you after you said that. He's like, what do you say? Yeah, I'm not sure how old you're aggressive, but I'm pretty sure he's asking you, can you hold my beer? Because he's looking to prove you wrong. I'm pretty sure.
As I said, I'm 22, turning 23. So
I'm pretty sure though that M42 are going to be happier. One fact is that they're starting on the defense, right? The double sentinel composition is absolutely bonkers. I just want to see them play to their fullest. That's all my expectation is. I don't care if M42 even lose this map, but the kind of display that they put on for us today, it'll really be justice if they're able to have a very, very close and contentious map 3.
doubt that it's gonna be that simple though. Moving on down the line from that, this double initiator is still putting a massive question mark in my eyes. Blackhawk trying to play a little bit aggressive on its own accord as a forward position, and possibly he's gonna be able to find that first initial tap as well. The members of the Rippers are just waiting to see what they can find. The smoke's gonna give a little bit of cover, pop flash out, and Blackhawk needs to run away. It's gonna be able to get out and also slow down the push quite drastically. But then again, he doesn't have smokes to work with, so no smoke at the B side.
Nice trade. With the classic especially. Crosshair from distance is able to equalize this frag.
And Paradox get this cut off onto Rix.
Quick play towards A. Quick play is what they're going to rely on to find success towards the
that's
side,
not
and it's
crucial.
Paradox who is not able to land that opener. Attack, and Hyper still not dead. That's utility that they can now use with the post plant side. A very, very ballsy peak considering he did see 3 players toward that ramp.
They can go for a wraparound, jump into vents, do it. Jump into the vents, do it. They're not gonna do it, they're just gonna chill.
30 seconds.
Juicy. 3v3. They have that A side to whack back. Oh, no.
Oh, of course. Now they jump into vents and they're like, yep.
This
Another
is
wraparound.
this is the bamboozle play that we've been expecting, my friend. I was expecting that they'll take close control towards defender spawn. Maybe delay this rotation as much as possible on the back of an added smoke.
I think playing for
Over.
trades is just way better here. You don't want to go in for a risky play, right? Trying to cut off rotations.
Makes
fine.
complete sense. Crossfire.
One enemy remaining.
Beautiful.
This classic close range is... The sound in and of itself is disgusting.
No.
Get
Do you know what
out.
it feels like? If I remember properly, I think I described this feeling to CCB. I don't think I described the feeling to you. It's like when your mom is coming to your room because you got like a 99 instead of 100 on maths. She takes her sandal and then slaps you in the face with it. That's the
Straight
kind
up
of
butter
feeling.
couple. Oof.
Yeah. It's a chappal feeling.
Damn, sounds like a difficult childhood, dude.
Yeah. I get a 99 in mathematics and then my mom just comes out of the corner being like, what you say?
Yeah, I
What
get
did you do?"
50, it's damn peaceful. I just play CST the rest of the day and my parents don't have it, so lifestyle.
Ah. I wish I had that life.
Well, Rick's wishes he has life left in him. Once I've got, we'll have that tailwind available if he wants to bait it, but again, it's Venom on the other side. And 72 HP, don't really want to trifle with the classic tier, do you? Again. Get to see the gruesome display of what a free gun is supposed to be.
One enemy remaining.
They shut it down though.
Out of tags, but not a power of a kill. Hey, they made it a little bit more expensive at least. Extra 1,000 credits.
4 men up though. On the side, True Rippers on the back of winning that round. So bonus, they should be able to play it more comfortably than they could imagine. On a map like Split, you have the Jet who can close the distance quite a bit, but also take very, very risky engagements from afar without throwing it all away, right? Now, they're going towards the A side. Alright, cool. You'd expect them to maybe take control of a ramps in a situation like this, you know, having lesser weaponry. He knows that the weaponry is not going to be that on par, so he knows that if he takes that initial peek with the martial, damage could do a lot in way of this retake, and Sai has lost the majority of his HP to that. Oh god.
What? Wait, 1 minute. Drake's shot how many bullets and he didn't even get a single bit of damage onto...
Player standing.
That's just, how many times are we gonna blame this on misfortune? At some point is the game, dude. Like, I thought that would happen only to me, but nah.
It makes you feel better about yourself when you lose your ranked games, right?
So happy, so happy. Trust me, you don't know how happy I've been ever since I've been casting this game. Because you get to see even the people who get paid to play this game for a living have bamboozles like that. When you sleep at night, you think of those and you have good night's sleep, you know? I don't know if I sound really bad or is that justified, but yeah, M42 are not going to take this round by any means. True Rippers, we questioned this drop heading into it, but I feel like with this double initiator setup, this is going to be the side that they're inherently going to be more proficient on, right? The attack. And you can say that likewise about M42. Their double sentinel setup gears them to perform on this defense. So this first half, which is, at least in the context of what I told right now, becomes so much more important. And M42 losing significant ground here, it's certainly going to put a less desirable outcome in their head. They need to fight through it.
Trying to get some form of value at least, but again, True Rippers, they're not really giving up much space. They're gaining the space, and oh my god, what's up, God? He's just making his way down. He's not even stopping for a second. He's just gonna... Okay, maybe slowing down a little bit should have helped. Hyper, he's shutting down the blades. Another dig to the forehead. You gotta worry about even more. Bolt is gonna be up for another one. Venom, he shuts down the push from Masters. That should be a gun for themselves. But no one's holding him. Venom's gonna be able to get a free gun. Oh god, this is
Extend
bad.
the transition through screens though. Crosshair low HP, cool, but that is the linchpin that he has, positioning. Side, does he clear? He expects it. Not gonna be quick on the trigger though. Clean sheet
But that
maintained.
was a pretty costly round, but then again, they have more than enough bank. Two of their players are at what? 75? Yeah, 75 grand. 7.5 grand.
75 grand.
7.5! My brain just went through a brain fart moment, sorry.
At least it didn't leave a stench. 2 ultimates up though, and that's certainly something that True Rippers can use to leave a mark on M42's memory.
Placing swarm grenade.
That Seeker is gonna be very, very problematic for M42, especially with the way True Rippers have approached that mid-game, right? They're trying to play this aggressive through Vents control, and once you have those Seekers, your position's more or less one and done. Which means, however you decide to hold, you're gonna be at somewhat of a disadvantage considering information goes the other aisle. Another fast play?
This is a little bit more on the dangerous side. They're waiting outside of this B side, hoping that maybe Blackhawk's gonna play this aggressive, but Blackhawk's not going for any of this. He's like, I went for my shenanigans for a pretty long time. I'm not gonna give anything more away from this. Bones. He's gonna wait it down through. Here comes the Seekers as well, trying to pretty much show up this entire side. And now Blackhawk, he needs to worry about this. Got for the first, he should be good for the second, but instead it's gonna be Cyan. Blackhawk going in for the proper hold. One by one, they get the drops, they get the kills, and they're gonna pile up the bodies as well. First initial round going in the favor of the side of M42 in a pretty quick, successful fashion.
Venom, on the back of his performance, is able to get a resurrection as well. Possibilities now start to open up for M42. 3 ultimates, nicely done. The round, well secured. But the economy of True Ripper is still intact. That's gonna be the difference maker here. This play that True Rippers went for, it completely got denied to a good extent by the way not only was Baby Sai in position, but also he denied so much of that dump utility that could have come through the main, right? They weren't able to dash into his side, they weren't really able to explode, overwhelm the defense. But that was one key piece of utility that they had to use for them to hold. And that star doesn't align so often. Mid control yet again just given away. It's very, very hard to contest it, and Sai is doing the very reasonable thing here by holding this bottom end of the vents. The only way that M42 could contest it. Again, got flashes. I told you, right? You can't dodge these kind of a flash.
It's hard. Unless you are instantaneously expecting the flash to just pop out, you're not going to be able to do much against it.
Alarm bot's there to give away that information.
Bones?
And bones. Did they hear the footstep? Okay, that's so...
Oh, that could have just got south really quickly.
He dodges that paranoia on the back of that TP, and he's still able to make use of it. Although he gets only a single kill. At this point, you don't even use the revive, bro. Straight up
30
save.
seconds left.
He's on the B side. He's like, I'm chilling, bro.
Exactly.
Hey, he has
fine.
45 seconds. Just think about what happens next round. Who needs a pause when he can go in for a save, right?
This is something that Navi were very famous to do back in CSGO's release. So what they'd essentially do is, in a round where things weren't really relevant, they'd just take pistols and keep running around the map. Just chilling. Buy some time for their in-game leader to get a very good regiment strategy for when they have the buy. So M42 at least are going to get the time to discuss where things are going wrong and how they need to fix certain things. Did you notice that dog graffiti next to Venom's position? Did you see that all around every single map? Oh, this is Scooter as well.
I think that, okay. Alright. The things that you notice when you're a caster and people going in for game time.
Dude, have you ever opened one of your old notebooks and seen like what kind of stuff you used to do in school? I have like notebooks where it was just me drawing random pictures of war, like random landscape with tanks and planes and soldiers with random death all around. I wonder how my mates perceived me when I was at that phase. Regardless, I wish I was as warmongering as One Tap God though. If he's looking this lethal and people love him. Oh, look at Bones' play. This is
Bones.
so pro being bought by One Tap
Bones?
God.
You just casually... This is the first time I've seen someone do something. So... Side's gonna be good for one. Rix is gonna be able to shut down another thing! But Blackhawk is just stuck between a corner and a hard place. Nothing he can do there. Hyper positions are pretty much revealed. Bones gets the timing and the headshot to boot. 1 and 6. And should I jinx it or not?
I mean, we've done it so far, dude. What's the harm of doing more?
Yeah, as you just stated, Rippers, they are known to be the favorites on this map. And when it comes down to the third and final map, considering their track record, it's a pretty dominant victory, isn't it?
It is. It very well is. And if we're going down to hell, might as well get the first class seat,
Wait,
right?
is that BMO? Oh wait, no, it's not BMO. I honestly thought that was BMO for a second.
Lol, get debated by Nuru.
Low graphic settings.
They're
Blessing in game. But bamboozle in
They've been given this freedom towards mid. And one aspect of this double sentinel setup is the fact that you give away mid, but you set up so much utility around it that it's almost impossible for them to work with this.
Ayo, what?
M42 just vibing and waiting for him to walk into his crosshair. Although the vibe does come in. That was so close. That was so close to being another frag. Oh, KG on KG action are we seeing? This lockdown looks like a science diagram from your textbooks, but don't be deceived, ladies and gentlemen. This is all
That diagram.
well
Say it
thought
proper.
out. Yeah, this B side, they've opted to retake the control M42, and this is where True Rippers are looking to retake control as well. The close angle being held by Venom, and it's not good for him to translate it onto a kill. Baby Sai, if that spray
30
would have
seconds left.
been lined up to perfection, could have gone in the double there, but Rix will mention as to why a KJ is pivotal on this map and how it could buy you time. The KJ comes in at the nick of time. 2v2. True Rippers looking to maintain that consistency and take a W and Blackhawk 75 HP. Teleports to the other side. The Shrouded Step leaves this round in shrouded possibilities.
Ah,
And Blackhawk's
it's
gonna be looking the wrong way at the wrong time.
timing.
The alarm bots did give away points.
Yeah. Blackhawk's not even gonna be ready for it. Beautifully done from the side of Master, getting into the head of Blackhawk there. But then again, one tap god, man. This guy's just been. I don't know what he's been eating. I really want to know what he's been taking in the camp because I need it. He has been improving at a rapid pace. Yeah, his frags may not say it, but he's been getting constant impact frags and he's been doing beautiful entry work. His entries have been phenomenal on that regard. Maybe it's unsalted almonds.
Chill doesn't deter them from that early peak just yet, and that pink chill, and that satchel really puts him back into this engagement. Hyper well removed from it on the second time. Oh, never mind. Never. Clean sweep up, a 2v5.
Enemy remaining.
Should be done and dusted. You know, Valorant has given me this unique opportunity to share gaming with my neighbors. They really didn't understand the concept of gaming and competitive 5v5, but because of Valorant, they somewhat do because it's so accessible, right? The other day, me and my friend were just chilling on the terrace, and we saw a random pigeon go through, and both of us looked away. This guy has really changed
Yeah.
a lot of people's life. Not in a good way.
Hey, some people buy IRL glasses just because of flashes and Valorant. So. Look at Paradox. You can ask Paradox. He actually bought his sunglasses just to play Valorant.
Lol,
He
doesn't
said it
want the
himself.
Wardell
I'm not even
experience.
kidding.
That's not what the Wardell experience did. You remember that clip 1.5 minutes and just being blinded by different colors?
Yes.
Straight up holy vibes.
Straight up rainbow.
One tap god,
So
a rainbow of opportunities ahead of him.
Whoa.
They spot him.
Bye.
Nah. Man smart. They do lose that early man mid, but they still are interested in the test, and that's something that he can't do. When I've got the double. Man equalizer in. Two important members out. Both the showstopper and the overload not going to be available to deny a post-plan situation or even in the process of
he
getting
needs to
there.
find the skill. Nope.
They let
That's
go
fine.
of mid on the back of that turret though. And they're trying to play on the back of rotations here. And that's exactly what True Rippers are doing likewise on the other side. Making this rotation towards ramp, it's suggesting this hits towards A. If they're able to get the frag and fall back towards B, that could be big stuff.
mean-
And it could be Rix, he's the member who gets the information on this mid lurk. And now that's not a luxury that they have. Venom, all by himself. Oh, no.
I love this.
Ah, they cancel
Oh!
it.
Blackhawk, it's all up to you. If he whiffs a shot, it's over.
He gets one chance, one opportunity. His knees weak, his
Oh,
arms are
they-
heavy.
Yeah, they saw.
Almost an Eminem setup there, but they throw up like it's his mom's spaghetti.
Planted.
What?
He looked nervous. I mean, I was going for an Eminem there, dude, and so was he. He had one shot there and he wasn't able to make it count. It's all on Venom.
Here.
Needs to be the battle sage. Doesn't have the wall. Without that, he's trying the ball. The peak from Paradox should just be perfectly timed. Yeah. You say it and you see it unraveling in front of you, you have a unique fear that hits you.
as a lineup, and it's a 1-9 scoreline. It seems as though Trippers, they always are able to close out their third map. Like they can dominate on tournament. Not
They
close
just
it out
dust
just yet. Yeah, it's just like the dusters that you find in your school, and then your teachers like clean the duster.
Oh, we used to have a duster prank. Basically, we used to hit somebody in the back with the duster, and it used to cause a problem with their uniform. Damn funny, I'm telling you. Works 10 on 10.
It wouldn't work for us because we had white uniforms. So
That's why colorful chalks come from, my friend.
Oh,
Oh, talking about colorful, this is something that they're gonna see on their screen right now, M42. Oh goodness, it's only Black Hawk and oh, but the Spectre does decent damage. Alright,
okay,
let's
that's a
start.
good start.
Where's the finish? Oh, there goes the party! Oh! The press! Let's go!
Down B.
Get Rosen!
Oh, no.
Ah!
No.
Enemy remaining.
That's fine. It's okay. It's okay. Rex is gonna.
Dude, I think both of us need a break after this game.
My heart needs to.
Last round.
Thank you for the replay here, because this round's crucial. First things first, you have the Spectre driver.
Wait. This is the last pulse. Wait. This was the last pulse from the ultimate. Good God, man. Oh, no, that wasn't the ult. That was the 0 point being thrown preemptively.
Straight up the knife, yo. Disrespect.
That's just a sad story right there. 1 in
Straight
10.
up a Sag.
That door. Masters.
Oh.
Tries to take a peek, but Hyper is gonna be beautiful with it. Here comes another one from Rex. He's doing that damage.
Oh,
He's
the
able to
possibility
put it all.
for there to be a big play. 1v3. Had the majority of his HP still left. He
That's a
needs to
double.
come
He's
up
looking for
master.
an ace. Looking for an ace.
Baits out that aggression by trying to tap the orb, and Black Hawk's very well aware. At range, taps him with a Phantom. 10 to 2.
Switching
And
sides.
M42 now on the attack. Arguably the less favorable side for them with this double sentinel setup.
No charges.
One thing the True Rippers were able to do very, very well on their attack is exploit the mid setup, right?
It's kind of surprising as well. They were exploiting the mid against the Sage.
Against the Sage and on the back of a double initiator setup with not much utility going towards mid. So
yeah,
that
but
was-
now their own mid is weak because they don't have a Sage. But then again, it seems as though the double initiator completely counters the opportunities of a Sage.
Who knows, dude? Sometimes the best defense is maybe the offense, and that's something that they might be interested in. With this double initiator setup, it does make them a viable threat, even on that retake. The push, it's just a straight up oh no.
Oh,
One
Oh,
enemy
no.
remaining.
that is called body block.
Down mid.
That's a body block and a half right there.
That is
Ouch.
straight up pay up for respect, dude. You've seen the casket. What can you do?
I think a couple of Fs in the chat is pretty much necessary at this point because this is rough. The team's mental is completely broken, and True Rippers, they're playing out of their mind. M42, they don't really know how to come on back from this.
Dude, this I like this.
Imagine if the
I didn't
actual
notice the
PC
change.
setups were like this.
Ooh, juicy. But dude, it wouldn't work because if I was there, I'd be worried about
Yeah,
you guys sitting
table
behind
space.
me watching the stream.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought there was a peek towards vents. I heard the drop, but I don't think it's up just yet. From is that Hyper? Yeah, it is. Master, close range. I'm gonna be allowed to make that same play yet again. This control towards vents, one tap card's gonna be very passive in his approach, and like you said, the double sentinel allows M42 to hold when they're on the defense like this, right? But it's not the same for True Rippers. They need to try getting information and maybe even force a fight. I think you might just see maybe the Tailblaze go down towards vents or even Guiding Light for that fact. Venom disposes of that knife, so information still kept sacred by M42. Time though is going to be of the essence. The more you boil down the time, the more close range these specters will get brutal. Owns the wall, and he's going to be ahead of it. The double. 20 is required to master.
Spike down.
This position he's no stranger to finding success from, and he finds himself the double yet again. Just a point away from the lockdown, and True Rippers just a point away from winning out this best of 3 in their fashion. They dust the enemy team in the third map. This time though, M42 are gonna face their wrath.
It's heartbreaking for the members of M42 as well. They came in with so much confidence after pulling off an incredible first map where True Rippers, they felt as though they were fish out of the water. They didn't even know how to play Valorant. But now, it's a completely different story. Every single one of the players, they're in high spirits, they're in confidence, and look at what Tech got. He's just going it nuts. He's going crazy out here. With Crosser on his side, Rex is the last player remaining, and there's nothing that he can do to try and survive. The bodies start piling, and it's gonna be True Rippers rising up on top of everything. 13-2, that is a statement and a half being made. Fist bumps all around, and Crosser and One Tap God, they do the celebration.
Just vibing. Nice stuff. True Rippers in True Rippers fashion edge out this map 3. 13-2. If you have seen something as dominant as this, perfect way to end the day as well, right? True Rippers. Dinner time for them, and it looks like they just had a meal.
It's time for the dessert, seemingly. The coach is happy. He's just chilling. He's like, yep, that's my team. You know what to do.
Hey, they're enjoying. Nice. Perfect celebrations. And I think that True Rippers, sure, it looked questionable in map 2, but they still have a lot to fix in their journey through this challenger series. We pointed this out in the pre-game. In series where they are the favorites, somehow it goes to the third map, and always it's in a close fashion till it hits map 3. You can't be this predictable. You need something to change, and True Rippers, they took the W here, but they need to go back to their drawing board and see how they reapproach what they just did, because some of these plays, quite frankly, were just berserk. If it was any other team instead of M42, it might have gone south, and a lot of these plays being situational means that the fact that these were situational leaves you that there's very little that you can draw from these games. Let's head to the highlights. Map 3, it flew by like I don't even have an analogy here. I don't know something that flies
Chances
this
with her.
fast. Oh god, don't that's that's a different problem for a different time. That's why we're gamers, you know. We learn to look past the problems and find the solutions where they're needed.
But the solutions for M42 for this matchup was pretty difficult.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just try and break this down top to bottom. What really went wrong for the members of M42? And I believe it's not the same problems as we saw on map number 2.
Very different. Yeah.
Yeah, and map number 2, they were just very disjointed. They were not playing together as a team. That was not the case in map number 3. They just felt really uncomfortable on this. You could see that the way that they were moving around, it just looked as though they were trying to fit into a shoe they couldn't really get themselves into.
And I feel like a lot of this is done in the way that True Rippers pace themselves throughout their attack, right?
Yeah.
Always having that element of unpredictability on your side gives your enemy an unwaverable sense of discomfort, which, like you described, completely dismantled whatever play that they were going for on the defense. It was so disjointed. Dude, this is where you straight up cue the depressing Bollywood music.
That's you every single time when you play another game.
Uh, this round as well. Ooh,
Oh,
they
that
showed
body
much
block from
more.
Hyper, man. I'm pretty sure that's size.
You just gotta take your L's where you find them and find a way to piece together a W when you have the opportunity to. They had the opportunity in map 2. It was an 8-4 half where True Rippers led the half, but managed to win out the pistol and it became 8-6, a more doable prospect. How that just flew in between their fingers and just ended up with the back pocket of True Rippers not only having that map but now the game. What a shame.
That's a rough scoreline to be in. No one even crossed 20 kills, man. Ouch.
Ouch. M42 getting M13 2'd.
What?
And yeah, I mean, see, at any other circumstance, I'd give it to M42, but when you're not able to deal with the pace of a team, it has more to do with the draft and the communication rather than the place itself. Think of it. There was nothing that M42 could do in a situation like this except for having perfect utility at every asking to slow down the pace of Throat Rippers. And that's not something that's ideal when you're sitting at strat book.
But just- it really didn't pan out the way that you expected. True Rippers, they had so many more opportunities to just completely play the map number one differently, but as soon as they went into map number two, it felt as though we were watching a completely different team. The way that they turned it all around, the way that they were able to take complete and utter dominant control over the map split. The team just got better over time. While on M42's direction, perfect, almost near perfect game on game number one. Not really a lot of mistakes to play around with. Game number two, it felt as though the team had the same problems as True Rippers. And then we look at map number three, and all the members of M42 really did fix their problems for map number two. That's not the issue here.
Yeah.
They were not able to stop the dominant force that was the side of True Rippers. As we head on down over towards the series MVP screen, we already know who's it going to be on the very top. What
Tap,
Tap
tap,
God
tap.
was just on fire. 50 kills, 41 deaths, 9 assists. ADR could have been a little bit better on his part, but it's completely fine. First Bloods are on 10 and an ACS of 266 on average.
Especially on the attack, those first bloods are going to be so crucial. And that's for every jet player there. You don't need to be a one-tap god who goes in and gets that triple,
Don't
gets
need to
that
be a one tap
quad,
god.
gets fancy. All that's required is the bare minimum to start things off with. Whatever you get then later on is a bonus. And that bonus really did help True Rippers win by a significant landslide. So for anybody who's looking to replicate something like One Tap God, it starts with the basics, right? Go in for your team, be that initial guy, get those first bloods, and be the first line of contact that your team has to commit to. Because at the end of the day, with your team committing utility, that's what you're looking forward to. And talking about commitment, we're committed to this. Let's look at the brackets as well, because a lot of teams will have their paths edged out with the way M42 and True Rippers match panned out. M42 being knocked down all the way to the lower brackets, and now True Rippers maintaining their upper bracket seed. It's going to be interesting to see who's going to take on whom and what we have left in the back, because there's going to be a month long of intense bamboozle Valorant action. Ooh, VLT against TR. That looks
That's
juicy.
that's something that we've been witnessing for a pretty long time. True Rippers, they can't take away one map against Velocity, but taking the second one, that's where the real problems will start to arise.
Dude. Revenant and Enigma are gonna head to head. So many nice matchups, dude. Not gonna lie.
Yeah,
And even
Metal
the lower
versus
bracket will
Reckoning.
heat up.
Metal versus Reckoning is going to be a pretty heated for sure.
Now imagine this, like imagine if Metal pulls off the upset and then we have like a Reckoning Revenant in the lower bracket. Dude, things start to get a whole lot more interesting, don't they?
That's going to be a fun one, regardless of whatever happens. M42, though, they have a lot to prove. They're at the bottom, but at the end of the day, they should be able to rise up to the challenge and climb to the top of it all. But then again, if you want to climb to the top of the competition, you got to check out all the links down below in the description, ladies and gentlemen. Get yourself a graphics card, and when you get those frames, you got to get yourself a monitor as well. Beautiful LG Ultragear monitors. Every single link down below in the description. We have a couple of discounts set up for you, just for you guys, for watching as viewers. We got you all covered. But for now, it's been a pretty intense night. A lot of ups, a lot of downs, and a lot of, let's say, interesting plays on the regards of questionable and interesting plays. But hey, that's what we're here for in the game of Valorant. Thank you all for stopping by, and thank you all for giving us your time of day. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and also hit that notification bell to get notified when we do go live tomorrow with the matchups. But for now, it's going to be your boy Aggressive with OG signing on off, and we're going to be seeing you tomorrow with a lot more Valorant action in the LG Ultragear Presents East Club Challenger Series powered by ZOTAC Gaming. Good night, and happy gaming, everyone.
2, 3, let's go.